Hey guys, welcome back to the Rockford Ordinance. I'm Chris, your host, and here we go again. Koffee and Kalash, right? That's short for Kolejnikov. Okay, some of you didn't realize it. Somehow I doubt that. But we are here again on a Tuesday. We only got a couple people in here, so we'll give it a few minutes. I didn't get the notification out there in time. I got home from work and I don't know, just never made it in the house. Went in the garage and made some of these. Yes, in video. That's just part of them. This thing is sick. It's an addiction. You get a progressive press and holy cow, look out. It's like I'm begging my wife for components and stuff. Hey man, just one. Come on, let me just get a box of bullets. Yeah, just 1 pound of powder. Come on. Pound of powder lasts you like 10 minutes, and you're like, all right, just come on, one more. It's terrible. It's like an addiction. It's like I'm out of brass. I'm going to go to the range, but I'm not going to shoot. I'm just going to collect brass. I'm like that guy hiding behind you, catching them as they come out of the gun. It's like, boom, got it. Yeah, I still got tons of brass, so I'm good there. I still got tons of primers. I don't know how I ended up with so many damn small rifle primers, but that's a good thing. I probably have, I don't know, somewhere between 7,000 and 10,000, and they just appeared. Now, on the other hand, small pistol primers, zilcho, nada, nothing. So, I don't know what I'm going to do there. I'm out of 9 bullets and I'm out of small rifle primers. Got tons of brass, tons of powder for them, but oh well, nothing else going on there. So got to start collecting it. We're going to get into some AK stuff tonight. We're going to get into a couple follow-ups on product reviews we did, just how things are going down the road. You know, when we do a review, we've used them for a little bit, whatever that may be. Like if it's a firearm, maybe 500 to 1,000 rounds. If it's a tool, maybe a month or two. If it's equipment, a few months, whatever. But how do those things work out down the road? 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years later? Are they still holding up? If you guys can remember a review you saw me do or a video you saw me do, and you're kind of wondering, hey, how did that work out? Does he still have it? Is he still using it? Did it hold up? Throw it in the comments here and I'll answer you. The Rockford Brass Snarf. Yes, that's me. God, I am so, I've been so upset. I was shooting at our local range up north here in Wisconsin. It's a few miles from the house, and it's a public range run by the DNR, and it's really a nice range. During the week, you can go there. During the day, there's no. You might usually be the only one there, maybe one other person. 100-yard range, but you can shoot 25, 50, 75, 100. And there's a pistol range, there's an archery range, a shotgun range, bunch of stuff, and all at one place. It's run by the local Vietnam veterans organization, and they maintain it. They put up the target holders and stuff. They mow the lawn, keep the parking lot up, and the it's not a porta potty. It's more like a portable potty building. Really nice. No, it's not what you think. It's allergies and my allergy medicine dripping down. I sprayed it right before the video. Now it's running down. Sorry. And I'm going to choke on it. Anyhow, they do a really nice job, and it's all run by donations. They got a little lockbox there. And it's funny how many people I see come and go and don't leave any money, not even $1, not some change, anything. I mean, usually every time I go in less, I forgot and like didn't plan, I'll throw in whatever. And maybe some of the they make you have to shoot at a range. Maybe you can't shoot your normal ammo or whatever the case may be. Range trips are not cheap. I can't really tell you because it is so rare I shoot at an indoor range or a range I have to pay for. Matter of fact, the last time I did it was Tennessee, I think. Tennessee, and before that, maybe a place when I was working down south that I went to on my lunch hour or something. And I really didn't pay attention to how much they were, but I hate ranges like that. First of all, I don't want to be in that close proximity to some of these people. I want to be rude to, others I don't, because they're beginners and I get it. But I don't want to be that close to dangerous people. And trust me when I tell you, there are dangerous people at some ranges. You have to be very careful and be aware of your surroundings. There's beginners, the guy that's cocking his gun with his finger in the trigger guard, or they bring their girlfriends or kids or wives or friends who've never shot. They give them no instruction beforehand and they put them out there. And I've seen rounds hit the ground, hit the ceiling, hit a divider. I've seen craziness, and it's scary. It amazes me that more people don't get injured. It really does. Besides that, what I hate the most is range Nazis. And we've all experienced them. I've been to some ranges. Hey, they're great. They watch closely, and it seems like if they see you know what you're doing, your experience, they'll kind of leave you alone, even if I'm not going to say you're being unsafe, but let's say you're just maybe moving a little faster than some or the norm, or I don't know, whatever. So they'll let minor things that are not safety issues, but maybe range things slide, sort of. And that's okay. And they'll be tougher on the beginners and watch them more. And that's just fine with me. But these guys that every little thing, you're shooting too fast, you're shooting too slow, on and on and on, I can't deal with that. And frankly, shooting static targets from a static position over and over and over again is not up my alley. Fine, you want to sight in a pistol, and what about rifles? To go to a 25-yard range or a 50-yard range, and then of course with AKs you can't shoot steel case. And it has nothing to do with the case, guys. Here's a good one that comes up all the time. Matter of fact, I had a gentleman I work with bring it up. He said, yeah, I bought some of that Wolf 5.56 stuff, and I was shooting at the range, and they stopped me, and they had a coronary over it that I could blow the place up and this and that because of the steel cases and this and that. I said, stop. It's not because of the steel cases. It has nothing to do with the actual shell or cartridge case. It has everything to do with the bullet jacket. And new people to steel cased ammo, shooting AKs, whatever. It tends to be AKs. I say AKs because most people shoot steel cased, steel jacketed 7.62 by 39. But more and more with ammo shortages, this and that, you see a lot of steel case in 5.56, 308, all kinds of stuff. And for the most part, it's the steel jacket on the bullet. And you say, well, it's copper. No, it's copper washed or copper plated, but it's a steel jacket. And what the ranges are afraid of is they have a maintenance schedule and they follow it. And if it's right after a range cleaning, fine, no problem. But what happens is if, let's say they clean or I'm going to say depowder the range once a month, let's say. And by depowder, I mean when you're shooting at a range, all that smoke you see and things like that, there's a ton of unburnt powder that comes out of the end of the barrel, whether it's a handgun or rifle, stuff from the primers, etc. And there ends up being a ton of unburnt powder floating around the range, landing on everything, on the floor, on the walls, in the ductwork, you name it, it's everywhere. If you let that go a few months, there can be a lot of powder out there. And steel jacketed ammunition, when it hits something made of steel, can throw a spark. I see it all the time when I'm shooting at the range at steel targets, especially toward dusk. Big sparks. I mean, it can be pretty like a fireworks show sometimes, steel on steel. And if that happens and that spark goes in just the right place and catches that powder, you could have a pretty good problem. So they don't like it. I'm sure their insurance companies have some kind of clause in there saying they can't allow it. Others say it's because they collect the brass and they sell the brass, and the steel cases get mixed in with the brass and it causes problems. I don't know. But for whatever reason, mostly the powder thing, they don't want you shooting it. And some will claim that the steel case will do some damage to backstops, to targets, to this, to that. And in their defense, it will. It's not armor piercing. It's not, but steel case will eventually hang it up pretty good. Not so much. I don't have problems with green tip. Bullets so light. But when I run steel plates for a long time, they start getting divots and dings in them, and can cause bullets to come off them in different directions that you don't want them to go. So they can be hard on expensive targets. I get that. If you're shooting 100, 200 yards, they're not at all. It's when you're, when you guys see me hammering away with a 7.62 or something at 50 yards or 30 yards or 75 yards, that's when they do the damage. You try, always we do that, but maybe add a little more angle or come at them at the side a little bit or something like that. Obviously knowing what's to the side and that kind of thing, anticipating the bullet's path after it hits it. But for the most part, it can damage them. So I get it. Anyhow, yeah, I've only literally in 25 years, I've shot at an indoor range less than 4 times or 3 times maybe. I just don't like it. I will shoot outside in the rain, the snow, 20 below, 100 degrees. I don't care. I will do it. And I look at it as it's good practice. If I'm in the rain, find out a lot of stuff. Do my optics fog. How's the gun hold up to it? If I throw it in a case and toss it in the truck and drive home and leave it in the truck for a day or two and pull it out, is it rusty? Did the optic actually get condensation on it? How did lube hold up? Different things, you learn from the surroundings. I learned the other day, I already knew it, but I actually kind of went to the range wanting to see this. The difference in temperature sensitivity on a certain powder I took to the range. Definitely a big difference. You learn what your equipment does, what's comfortable, what's not, what you can see, where you can go, all kinds of stuff. I really urge you to go shoot in the range, in the rain. I'm sorry, shoot in the snow, high heat. That's when you want to go. You discover stuff that's like, wow. And you'll be really glad if you ever needed to do something or use a skill or a piece of equipment or optic or something in those conditions. And you'll think to yourself, oh my God, what if, what if, and this happened, you'd be screwed. And It's like, well, this wasn't weather related, but it's like when I took my little Smith & Wesson bodyguard to the range, and I use that gun constantly. It's always in use somewhere, if not as a carry weapon, it's somewhere else, a truck gun, a glove box, of this or that. And I thought, I haven't shot it in a while. I unloaded the personal defense ammo and threw some Full Metal Jacket in there, and nothing. And I had a broken firing pin. Didn't even know it. That was one of the most scary experiences of my life, because I thought, oh my God, what if you drew down on somebody doing bad things and you knew you had time to get two off, and if you didn't have a clean hit, it was going to be trouble, and you pulled up and it went click. That'd be the loudest click of your life. And I couldn't get that out of my head for weeks and weeks and weeks. And now when I go to the range, every time I go, I bring my carry weapon and I run at least a mag through it. Always. I can't get around it anymore. And I check them often. I check firing pins, springs. I do a quick field strip, make sure everything's cool. You have no idea, guys, how much lint builds up in these things if you're carrying every day, all day. Check it out. For those of you that maybe have a carry permit but don't carry all the time, and you should be carrying all the time, make sure you're doing these things. But ranges, I mean, that's where we work, where we do our practice, where we train, where we test, where we do everything, right? So you have to enjoy where you're going, and it's got to enable you to, do some drills and more practice than you can standing at a table. It just, to me, that's garbage. And I get it. Not everybody has the opportunity to do that. And I think people that live in urban settings have more aversion. They say, well, if I'm going to go to an outdoor range, it's an hour and a half ride, and I have to plan it, and I can't do it every week. I don't know. To people that live in the country like me, the grocery store is a half an hour. The post office is 20 minutes. The gas station is 15 to 20 minutes, So even to go where you see all my videos done, that can be, depending where I'm at, that can be 3 hours or it can be an hour. But I do it all the time, and I don't see it as any big deal. It's just a necessary part of my week to get out there and train and test and do. And you all have to make the sacrifices to be able to do that. If you have to reload to afford to do it, reload, figure it out, get it done. You can do it. So anyhow, we're going to go through some product testing follow-ups. We're going to do some live on the spot price checking on what's going on out there because of some of the things that are coming up here pretty soon, or maybe not coming up. We'll see. We got a lot of good stuff. We're going to talk about a range trip we did with our SLR 107 FRs. Yes, R's, plural. I'm going to show you some targets from a couple of shoots that I'm really happy with. We had some progress, real progress in the Buy 39 project. I am ecstatic, and I won't say it came about by accident, but I wasn't, well, I guess I was testing, but it was more just having some fun, and I wanted to run this ammo, and man, it was awesome. So you're going to see that. And so and then we'll answer your questions as usual. I hope some of you caught the new video the other night. It was on the Grand. We've got a accessory for it, and I think I showed it to you guys. I was going to use it tonight as the blade of the week, And here it is. I showed it to you before on here, I believe, but I hadn't showed it on the rifle or anything, or in a video. And I thought, I got all this 30-06. I loaded up hand loads, and I wanted to really, I had shot some, but just a end block or two, 8, 16 rounds. I really wanted to shoot it, see how these loads were doing, and show them this. And hey, I'm always looking for an excuse to take that Grand out. It's so much fun. It attracts people at the range. They come up to you and, hey, is that a Grand? They want to talk about their dads or their grandfathers or theirs, or just look at it, check it out. And it's amazing. So it's a lot of fun. It's, sometimes certain guns are a great way to meet friends at the range. And I've got some that just through a quick conversation at the range have ended up lifelong friends, But I bought this online from a seller that specializes in like World War II surplus and all different stuff, from uniform stuff to bayonets. And I had that shorty that came off an M14. This is, I believe, 10-inch, which is the proper length. The guns off the previous Springfields, or the bayonets off the previous Springfields, I think were maybe 13 or 16 inches or something. And they cut a bunch of them down to 10 inches. And then they started making the new one, which is this 10-inch bayonet. There were a few different makers and all of that. And I think maybe I even have a video on this. I don't remember now. But it's really a nice knife. It's not perfect. What you see here is kind of patina more than bluing. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. I didn't turn my phone on airplane mode. And it was actually the Scrod lip. Scrod was calling us. Actually, I should have picked it up, shouldn't I? And talk to him. He's probably out muskie fishing right now. But should I call him back? Yes or no? What do you guys say? Should we see how the muskie fishing's doing? What was I talking about? Oh, so anyhow, the ones that were made for the Garand then were these 10-inch. The way you can tell a cut down or a original 10-inch is by the blood groove here. On an original, the blood groove starts here, ends here. On the cut downs, the blood groove will go all the way to the end, because normally it went out to 13 or 16 inches, and they cut it further down so it continues all the way down. It's got a nice handle, in pretty good shape. These things hook up really nice. They've got this little clip here that not only clips it, activates the mechanism that clips into the bayonet lug, but it also locks it into the sheath. The sheaths are interesting. There's different sheaths. This one is a fiberglass with the steel. I've seen this fiberglass, but usually they don't have the steel tip. Some do, some don't, but I don't know where this came from. Most of the paint is still on there, and it looks like there's a number or something. It looks great on the rifle. It's the right length and all. The other one was kind of a placeholder. They did use that shorter one that I had in Korea, I believe. And of course, I had a modern scabbard on it because they had none, but I just wanted a scabbard to protect it while it was on the rifle and leaning in the rack until I found this. And these used to be, again, $10, $5 at a show or a surplus store. And now they're, they can be $50 for a crappy one. $100 is probably about average, and they go $200-300. But it's a nice one. It's got the flaming bomb and everything on here. Really cool. So again, an excuse to get you guys to the range, or get the Garand to the range. I want to see. See how the musky fishing's doing. All right. Let's give him a quick call here, shall we? Let's see. I'll keep it short, guys. Who knows what he'll say when he doesn't know he's live. Let's see. I'll put him on speaker so you guys can hear. He'll say something stupid right off the bat.
Well, time to call me back, you fucking scrod. What are you doing?
You are live on my live stream, and I just told all the viewers that you would say something like that, and it was perfect. I hope they heard it as clear as I did, because that was funny. I said, "You guys want to hear how the musky fishing's doing? Because I bet he's out musky fishing." Yeah. So you're live. About time you fucking called me back. I said you rang in the middle of it. I said, "Oh, it's the scrod lip."
Okay, you're live. All right.
Damn. I've told them before how much trouble we got in high school and everything. And I don't know if they believe me when I tell them that we read every single issue of Field and Stream and Outdoor Life in that upper stairwell to the theater. I think we read every issue from like 1954 to current, like 1980, whatever.
Oh my God, yeah.
Think about that. Every issue. We should be walking knowledge base. Well, we are. We know everything there is to know about hunting and fishing. And yeah, it's just how much have we kept, because the 80s were kind of a blur. Very hard to remember parts of them, but you know. Anyhow, I will call you back when I'm done. How's the musky fishing? I saw Benny.
Yeah, my buddy's hammering them. He's still hammering them.
Benny said he had 22 fish. He had 11 on, 11 muskies on, caught the one that was 42 or 44, and saw 20 some fish altogether.
Yeah, Ben's hammering them.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, that was a good day. Yeah, well, dude, it's like right at the border. You shouldn't be fishing them, too. 79-degree water down.
Jeez.
You're not supposed to be fishing them over 80 degrees.
Why?
Because they can.
It stresses them too much, and they can't release them.
It's too high. They can stress out.
Oh well, aren't we just the ethical fishermen, Paul?
Right.
No, I get it. Yeah. All right. Well, we got to get up fishing. I'm going to be fishing hopefully Thursday. We'll see. Anyhow, I'll call you in a bit.
Okay, bye.
Thanks for calling into the program, Scrod.
Sure, dude.
Bye.
Sure, bro. Bye.
That was amusing. I knew he'd say something like that. Did you guys hear it? I hope that was funny. That was highly amusing. But yeah, just real quick on the fishing, and then I'll get back to the guns. So new friend of ours. He's been a friend of Scrod Lips for a long time. But I took him to the range the other day. He is into guns hot and heavy now. One of these guys just got in. He's building ARs. He's having so much fun. And it's fun to see him have fun, you know. And my buddy that was just on the phone brought him with, and we took him to the range. He had a blast, and we've been talking ever since. Almost every day, at least texting a little or something. And the other day he called, and he said, "When are you going to the range yet?" And I said, "Well, I was thinking about leaving right now." He's like, "Really?" I'm like, "You want to go?" He's like, "Yeah, will you wait for me?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got a few things to do. Come on, and we'll go." So me and him went, and had a great time. That's when I shot the grand video. And he messaged me yesterday, I think, or the day before. He's a muskie guide by, that's what he does for a living. And he went out on a highly, highly pressured lake system, okay, real close by, that most people think is like crap, or certainly wouldn't consider it like a high-end muskie lake, right? But in the last couple of weeks, I've seen like a 48-inch or a 44 or 42 come out of there, between Scrod here and this guide. And he went out. They actually hooked and fought 12 muskies, boated only one. I don't know why. and saw a total of 20 some odd fish that followed to the boat we're on, etc., in just a handful of hours. Can you imagine? There's a reason they call them. Sorry, guys, this camera's not focusing, and I'm trying to figure out why. Why is it blurring like that? Let's see. Maybe there's not enough light. I don't know. You guys can see it's that blurry, right? Anyhow, I would venture to guess that the average informal muskie fisherman might see that many fish, have that many fish on, and boat one fish like that. They wouldn't see that in 10 years of fishing. The guy that goes a couple times a year, guy that goes several times a year, whatever, still might be hard pressed to see that in a season, you know, and in like 5 hours that happened. When you get into muskie fishing, there's a lot more fish than you think, and I'm not saying it's easy, but it can be done. It's not the super secret cult thing that everybody thinks it is. It's a lot of fun though. Anyway, so it's kind of cool. And we're going to do some fishing here real soon. And I will bring you a video on that, of the muskie fishing. But yeah, it was cool to get him into it. Now he's wanting to go all the time, and I'm happy to take him. And he's running a 300 Blackout and a 5.56 gun that he built, Palmetto State, and having a great time. I will tell you this. I don't have much Palmetto State of anything, AKs or ARs. And I have one upper that I've shot very little. I have no bolt carriers, nothing. But he bought complete upper, complete lower, put them together. And on his 300 Blackout gun, he's shooting, and all of a sudden it's not working. So we take it apart, I look at it. Firing pin broke. I got a lot of ARs, boy, and I put a lot of rounds through them. I've never broke a firing pin, ever. Now, I have Colt and Arrow Precision and Fail Zero bolt carriers and their components that populate them. And I've never broken one. So kind of weird that on a Palmetto State that would happen. And one of his bolt carriers is a name brand too. I can't remember what it is. I'll find out for you. But yeah, kind of strange, right? So I wonder if, cheaper parts, that stuff happens. I don't know. Oh, actually, no. That was a Bear Creek Arsenal or something like. Yeah, that's what that was. Because I started to kind of talk about hammer on Palmetto, going, oh man, maybe it is true. And he said, oh no, stop. It was the Bear Creek. So I don't know. But he did say he wished he had bought a Palmetto State, but it's just a firing pin. Who knows? Who knows if it was their bolt carrier? I don't know. I think it was, though. He bought it whole. So yeah, camera been drinking, I guess, right? Look at this. I can get up close. Is it focusing? Damn. Am I that good looking? I don't know. I'm teasing. Why the hell is it focusing like that? It bugs me. It does this once in a while. And it drives me nuts when it does it. Like if there's something in the peripheral vision of it and it's focusing weird, I don't know. Or it's light or what. But yeah, pain in the neck. Anyhow, let me try something else here because I'm sure it's bugging you guys. I don't know. Anyhow, let's get into the chat here. There's a ton of it already and see who's here, see what you guys are talking about, and if you got any questions. If you got any, throw them in here. So Chase Kelly was the first one in tonight. Nice job, Chase. He gets in here once in a while. Joe's usually in first. But lately, Joe's been doing the bedtime thing with his dad close to our starting time. So he's been busy, and that's okay. We give him a pass. Joe says he had a good week. I won a 511 bag, and someone gave me $240 card on Amazon. It really helps out a lot because freeing up money for next project. So how'd you get the $240 card on Amazon? Who gave you that? They just, out of kindness of their heart, their camera's focusing. Look at that. Weird, right? No, it's crystal. You guys can see me in all my glory. Right. You're like, please put a bag on. Something. Put a mask on. That'll never happen. So yeah, Joe's in here. Orion Fixer is here. Good to see him. Our Chi-Town representation there. I'm still telling these guys that when I come down there to shoot and stuff, the invitation's still open. You guys want to meet for breakfast and go shooting, you let me know. We will do it. And we'll bring you a video too. Maybe they don't want to be on video. I don't know. They don't have to be. Anyhow, yeah, I'd like to see what project you do. Joe had said Rockford, the brass snarf. Yep, that's me. I'm going to turn into a brass snarf. That's what I started talking about ranges about. Boy, that was a long way to go to come back to a little point when I started talking about indoor ranges and all that. So I'm shooting at that Wisconsin range right by the house. And I'm doing the SKS video. And I'm shooting the SKS. And I left the camera running for some reason. I had seen this guy. He was leaving. I see him walking down. He's going to pass behind me and go to the parking lot. So I'm shooting. Camera's running. I don't remember that it was running. And he doesn't know it's running. And when I'm done shooting, I turn around. He says, "Oh, how you doing?" "Oh, good. I just didn't want to walk in front of you." I said, "No, it's fine." "All right, have a good day." He pretended like he was tying his shoe or something, I guess. I got home later and I look, and while I'm shooting, he's behind me picking up all my brass and looking at me like trying not to get caught. It was hilarious. I've told you guys about it before. I lost the footage. I am so upset. I've searched and searched. Can't find it. And it was friggin' hilarious. I could make the greatest meme, greatest video of all time, and I lost it. I'm so mad. It was, and he even looked like the type, you know? Ugh, God. Annoying. Don't be that guy. Wait till they're done. Ask them if you can have their brass. Half the time, I've got guys that see me picking up brass, and they'll save the brass, put it back in the boxes and stuff, and leave it on the top of the bench and, leave. Or sometimes say, "Hey, saved my brass over here for you. If you want it, take it." "Oh, hey, dude, thanks." That's awesome. If it wasn't for that brass, boy, I don't know. We couldn't do the videos we do because I couldn't do the reloading, Yeah. JS is here. Been watching channel a while, but first time live. Great content. Well, good. Glad to have you. Hope you hang in here. It usually goes about 2 hours. We have gone 4 hours, 3 hours several times. I try to keep it to 2 hours. Just depends what we're talking about. Well, the knife of the week was the bayonet. Who asked that? Where did I see it? Oh, David Inglesby's. That's who asked. Good to have you, man. I got a pile of other knives here. I showed you this one knife before if you guys weren't in on that live stream. It's a Kolejnikov knife. Have you guys seen it? Or you want to see it again? It's laying here. That could be the knife of the week. Hold on. I don't have any fresh ones here, but this knife has been in my collection for a long time. And it wasn't until a couple of months ago, going through some knives, that I happened across it and actually read what was on it. And I was like, holy cow, you're kidding me. or I think I saw it on a website maybe, and somebody said it's Kalashnikov, and I went, wait, I know that knife, and I went and got it and checked, and sure enough, this has been sitting there all this time. I never knew it. So it's a folder, and in Russian, this is Koleznikov. That's why I didn't realize it at first. Yeah, that's it. Koleznikov. And it's got, and also the way this is done, it doesn't look like it here, but that's actually his portrait. See, if you look close, it's kind of done kind of crappy. But that's his portrait. Of course, the Russian star. And on the blade, it says, what the hell does it say? Oh boy, I'm never going to read that. I guess it's his signature. It's his signature on the blade there, up top. And it's been sitting in my collection all this time. I don't know if it's a cheap gas station knife or what. It doesn't say where it's made on the blade or what kind of steel or anything. So it's not China. It's got some heft to it, and the blade is very nicely finished, polished, ground, even, sharp edges. The scales are made from, I don't know, some type of zinc or pot metal. Maybe it's something. Maybe it's pewter. I don't know. Kind of looks like pewter. But the locking mechanism is glass. I mean glass. And the folder, it snaps nice. Let's see, going out. Does it lock in? Now it won't come out. Why was that? Oh, I see. Okay, let's see. Yeah, nice snap. Not a bad knife. No play. No play this way. For what it is, pretty nice knife. I don't know who made it, but I could research it, I guess. Just kind of cool, huh? So that's cool to have. Wish I had known I had it before. We'll show you one other one, and then we'll get on with things. I think I've shown you this before, but we'll do it again because I love this knife so much. So you guys know I love K-Bar, right? I love their fighting knives, their standard, their issue knives that they issued in World War II, all of that. I love a standard K-Bar, or the smaller one, or the giant one. I have them all. This one, though, is a little different. It's a very small fixed blade, stacked leather handle, which I love. When I got this, I kept it in the box for so long because, oh, it still smells so good. The leather, you can smell it. Beautiful leather sheath, just stiff enough. This is kind of soft, and it's just an oil tanned leather. Steel rivets and stitched. A very handy knife while you're bird hunting. I use this for bird hunting and small game hunting. It's always on my belt. It's a great knife for cleaning birds, pheasants, grouse, whatever. And I'll pull it out of here. It's got an aluminum pommel. The blade comes all the way through. It's a full, a full tang knife. And the tang ends here and is polished and ground even. It's got an aluminum pommel, a flat on the bottom here. You can stand it up, blade up for different things, kind of useful, won't roll on you, whatever, but you can use it for other operations, put it on the bench and, or a table and do some little operations or whatever you're cutting or doing. The stacked leather handle, and then it's got either micarta or plastic finishing discs, white, red, white, black, white, red, white, black, and then a brass guard on it. Very short guard, which it's there just, kind of for tactile function, not to really keep your hand from going over. It's so small. But the reason they make it small and the reason I like it like this is it tells you where to keep your hand or how far to go, because you don't want to get out here, of course. But being that small, it's really maneuverable. You can be very precise if you're boning or carving or cutting something, especially something as small as a bird or a squirrel or something like that. It's about a 4-inch blade, maybe 4.5, high polished, um, really a nice edge for a factory edge, and certainly sharp enough for anything. They oil this stacked leather. For those of you that don't know, a grip, stacked leather, is just that. They're leather discs with a hole in the middle, and they'll put the guard on, and then they'll just start stacking the leather discs on there. Then they'll put the pommel on. They'll pin it in. There's a pin right there. See it where the pin goes through? That holds it on. And I know a lot of you guys know this. I'm just showing for those that don't. There's the pin right there. So that goes through the blade. It stacks it all on there. It's tight. They really get it down there, make it tight. And then they've got all these discs, right? And it'd be a lot bigger than this when it's stacked. But then they take it to a sander and they shape it. They shape the leather and the discs here with a sander to the profile they want. And it sands it all smooth, and they'll put the whole shape to it. They'll make it flatter on the sides and all. And once they have that profile down and it's sanded smooth, they will buff the leather and then oil it and or seal it. Sometimes they'll dip it in something, shellac, other stuff. But this is just oil, and then they, hand burnish it and polish it in, and that's what you get. And I usually polish this thing up once in a while, the brass, and make sure the fingerprints are gone, because I look at this knife, and half the reason I bought it was I just thought it's kind of a work of art. I mean, look at this thing. And it's so little and so perfect. And my father came up with this term, and I use it all the time, and I'll always remember him saying it. Knives, whether they're any kind of knife, pocket knife especially, I guess, but it's jewelry for men, right? That's what it is. A knife can be, it's one of those things that goes in your everyday carry. If you have a little tray on a dresser or nightstand or on your vanity or something, you get home from work, you throw your wallet in there, your keys, your knife, your gun, your whatever. And this is one of those things that would be in there. When I'm living up north here, I have a knife on me all the time. And this is one of them that it would always be on my belt up here. It's so useful. I try not to use it for utilitarian things, more hunting, fishing, that kind of stuff. But it's also such a piece of art. You can take a very utilitarian K-bar knife, like one of their fighters, and it's just that, utilitarian. And then you just add a little bit, like the high polish on the aluminum, the beautiful polish and sealing and smoothness of the leather, the tiny brass accent, and the leather sheath, and you now have a work of art. And that's exactly what that is. And that's how I look at it. The reason at least half the reason I like guns is I admire the machining and the perfection in them. If I never shot one again, if I never bought another one, I'd be really happy. I admire them. I look at them sitting there or in a stand or leaning in a gun case or whatever. I look at them as artwork. I really do. I marvel that man can take rough natural products like wood, steel, aluminum, leather, and turn those products, those rough commodities, into something so perfect, so uniform, so polished, and meld them all together. You know, aluminum, micarta, leather, steel, brass, meld them, or wood, and meld them all into a super functional tool that is, in my eyes, perfect, because the smoothness is perfect, the polish is perfect, the finish is perfect. I admire that. Um, I would love to be a master knife maker, gun maker, machinist, just to machine um, even a blank for, let's say, a muzzle device. I would just marvel at it. And go, look at that. I did that. I want to get one of those mini mills. There's a bunch of Chinese ones out there. Harbor Freight sells one, a few other companies. And there's companies now catering to them that make aftermarket parts for them, gears, all kinds of stuff to make them better. But all in all, right off out of the box, they're pretty darn good for what they are. And you can make all kinds of stuff for our hobby with them. Muzzle devices, different stuff. Very, very cool. I'd really like to get one. They run $600 or $700. I know nothing about it, a little bit, but I would love to get one and just start messing around with it. So cool. So cool. Something different than a 3D printer. A 3D printer to me is not what a lathe or a mill is. You know what I mean? I like them. I get it, but it's not that. But yeah, this, you have no idea. I love this knife more than so many other tactical knives. And I don't know if it's because it's a smaller size, and yet it's so nice and precise. And the smell, that leather and oil, oh my God. I'll smell it on my hands all night. It smells great. If you buy it for nothing else than the smell, they should make an aftershave that smells like this. Anyhow, that's enough. That's the blades of the week. So you got them, okay? David, there's your knives of the week. I hope you liked them. Joe, our range is free from county, donated by the sheriff. That's awesome. Rockford doing a pound of powder. I get it. I get it. Took me a minute there. Sorry. Joe says, I've actually had to take a gun away from someone flagging someone and escorted them out because they flagged me more than once. I gave it back on their way out. Made them pop trunk. I would have left. That's kind of dangerous to take a gun away from someone, right? At a range, even if a beginner. I don't know if I just grab. I don't think I may control them there or say stop, or something. But I don't know that I would. I know if someone reached for my gun, I'd have a big problem with that. Granted, I wouldn't be doing what they're doing, but who knows? I don't know. Scary. Either way, it's scary. Squeaky's here. Squeaky Cooler is out here earlier today. He says his range is a glorified dirt pile in the unincorporated county, and only safety rules apply because you are your own range Nazi. Yeah, there's a lot to be said for that too. There's no range officers out at these ranges. And that being said, guys, you do have to police yourselves. So when we're out there and others are there, if they don't start it, we do. We make sure we say, all the appropriate things, and, guns clear and range is hot, range is cold, all the commands. We make sure everybody hears. If they've got muffs on, we get their attention. We bring them together. We make sure all the actions are open, all of that. You said it's just because you don't have to deal with a range Nazi, you still need to follow all the rules and protocols. Why? Because if you don't, it may not happen today, but it will happen. There'll be an accident, and then guess what? Then you will have a range Nazi there. So make sure you're still following all the rules. Koffee and Kalashnikovs tonight. We've got our go-to, our Dunkin' Donuts hazelnut. I love any kind of hazelnut coffee. But I love Dunkin' Donuts hazelnut with a lot of milk. And doesn't matter cold out, hot out. I love coffee. And then, especially now in the summer, I drink this stuff by the gallons. We'd like to thank Red Bull for sponsoring this video with their Red Bull Peach Edition. I thought this was going to go away. It started disappearing off shelves, and now it seems back. I've probably personally made it so popular, and they've sold so much due to me that they kept it around. But no, I'm kidding. We're not sponsored by them. We're not sponsored by nobody. We're sponsored by ourselves and Mrs. Rock. Mrs. Rock sponsors us. That being said, I only say it once during a video, and I'm only going to say it once now, and we'll be done. Right down where you comment here, there's a little $sign. You can comment, hit that $sign, and it's called a super chat. You can donate anything from 1 cent to $1 million. $7.62 is kind of cool because that's 762. Someone did it the other night, and I appreciate it. That's how we get our money, guys. Most of our videos are not monetized, and all of the money goes back into the channel, whether it's ammo, guns, giveaways, this, that, the other. Please help support the channel. If you can, go down there. If you can't, not a big deal. Hang in, learn something. And when you can, you will. I get it. But it's certainly appreciated. Thank you so much. That's that for that. Super chat. Cool. But this peach Red Bull is the other thing. Is part of Koffee and Kalashnikovs. I love this stuff. So refreshing. Unlike if you've tried Red Bull and hate it, hate the taste, try that. It's marvelous. Anyhow, let's see who else is in here, and then we'll get into some AK stuff and all kinds of goodness. So yeah, the muskie fishing has been great. Squeaky says, I keep meaning to pick up some more collectible knives and scabbards, but I keep coming across guns. That's okay. Keep buying imports, buddy, and buy whatever you can. There's no time like the present, and with the way things are going, who knows? So buy them. You'll always, well, I won't say you'll always be able to get knives, but buy what you can. You notice I haven't introduced much new lately. There's not a lot of new out there I want. I do need some Polish guns. I want to get some Polish guns, and I want a PSL bad. And I got to get I'm going to buy a SGL too. I got to get with my buddy here. Where's he at tonight? Is he in here? Where's Tommy Guns? Let's see. All right. What else you guys got to say? Yeah, the camera was drinking today. Who else is here? There's Tommy. It jumped on me, guys. Hold on. It jumped on me. Tommy Guns, PSA, no bueno. BCA trash company, in my opinion. Google it. Yeah, I haven't heard much good about BCA. PSA, I don't have enough experience with their uppers or lowers. In general, generally don't hear many complaints about them. And EDUs, nice gun. I can't say enough about the fit and finish. One is when we're caught up and we're in buying mode here, I'm going to grab one of theirs with the FN barrel and do some testing for you guys. But I know it's going to, here, Americans have finally broken down the secret. And really, you know what the secret was? It was trendings. That's all it was. Oh, somebody gave us a super chat. Who gives Tommy Guns? Look at this. My buddy. I love it. Guys, Tommy is an awesome dude. I give him some crap here and there, and it's not crap. It's all in jest, tongue-in-cheek. But Tommy's got an incredible collection, and he keeps adding to it. He is the king of SGLs, and he's keeping a couple around so that one day when I finally pull the trigger, it'll probably come from him simply because he's got a bunch and he's saving one for me. I know he is. And it's not going to be the bottom of the barrel either. It'll be right up there, brand new in the box, I'm sure. But he's talking here. I got your Polish Brill and SGL for you. He does. I know. I do. I want a barrel first and foremost. And a lot of you guys will say when it comes to AKs, well, why would you want a barrel? Why do you want that? Or like the Fox that had the little funky thing at the back rear trunnion. I like the barrel and that whole the sight rail. I think that's what makes it cool, what makes it different. Polish guns are awesome, guys. They really are. You got WBP and you got, FB Radom. And yeah, one of them's kind of riding the coattails of what everybody knows is the original. But everybody knows that. And can't say irregardless. There's no such word as irregardless. Did you know that? Regardless, they're building a nice gun. There's nothing but quality coming out of Poland other than Pioneer. Stay away from Pioneer. Absolute junk. But Tommy, thank you so much. We appreciate it. And we will definitely put that in the SGL Polish Fund. How's that sound? I would love to corner myself and say you're not going to see another gun or a new gun be tested or video done until I get a barrel or an SGL. But I just can't make that promise. What if something pops up? Well, let's make that promise unless something pops up. How's that? So next major testing and all you'll see will be on an SGL or a barrel. Because remember, there ain't no safe queens here. I'm not taking an SGL and leaving it in the original box and putting it away. Nope, it's going to get shot. Hey, I shoot my Bakelite side folder. Think about that. Why wouldn't I shoot an SGL? And let me tell you something. For those of you that have never shot a Russian AK, you've shot Yugos, Bulgarians, Chinese, whatever. Same with a AK style shotgun. If you have not shot one, but mostly the rifles, okay? If you have not shot a Russian AK, you have not shot an AK because they are different. People say, well, this is the same thing. The Russians gave them the machinery. They gave them the data package. They oversaw it when they opened the arsenal. I don't care. There is no variant as good, as nice, as smooth as a Russian. And I don't know why that is. I don't know if they've been doing it longer, if it's the people at the plant that have been doing it longer, if something's tweaked, their machinery a little different, whatever. But I can tell you this: I've shot everything. I've owned at one point just about or another just about every variant. And while some are very close, there you can feel the quality, the smoothness, and the difference in a Russian rifle. Take Vepr, for instance. Oh my God, there's nothing like it. Nothing. There's milled guns that aren't as smooth as a Vepr. Just an awesome rifle. SGLs. I guess I've seen one or two that had minor issues as far as something being off a little, not straight. But literally out of the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds I've seen and or shot, one or two I can remember. And one was the rear sight block was off a little bit was the problem. Tiny bit. And I really have an eye for it. And I'm OCD about it, so it bugs me. But I check, like crazy check. And I've only seen a couple. Tommy will tell you, though, there is a difference. And we'll both probably say they're smoother, the fit and finish, the way they operate, function, the way they come out of the box, everything. It's just better. It is. I don't know why, and it's not putting down any of the others. Right now, guys, other than Vepers, I don't have an SGL in my collection. I've had SGLs like an idiot. I got rid of them for other stuff, just to do videos and stuff on at the time. They were no big deal. I still pick one up at that time, $700-800. I was just an idiot, and then I waited too long to replace them. And at the time, I had 7.62, 2 of them, and 5.45, 2 of them. 2 shooters, 2 brand new in the box. I sold all 4. Now I have none. Idiot. And I didn't get big money for them then either. Stupid. But thanks, Tommy. Appreciate it. All right, let's get back to this. And I saw another super chat come in. I'll get to you here real quick. But you're going to say everything but Colts anyways. Don't believe the Colt hype, guys. Yeah, Colt's a great rifle. Are they what they used to be? That's debatable. Are they the be-all, end-all? No, there's better guns out there. There definitely are. It's price, essentially. Is Colt a good rifle? Absolutely. Is there anything wrong with Palmetto? At this point, guys, they've built so many ARs. I don't think you can call them junk. I think you call them entry level, and they make so many models that you can get one as base crap as it comes, or probably one well up there, depending on the barrel and all. Let's face it, the receivers are the receivers. The forgings come from 3 or 4 different places, and then they're finished at a bunch more. But, Arrow makes them for a lot of people. Anchor Hocking makes them for a lot of people. That's a plant that's an hour and a half west of Chicago. I knew a lot of people that worked there. If you go to the dumpsters, you'll find tons of them out there. Receivers not finished, obviously, and damaged, but they make a ton of them for multiple companies, including some of the biggest names out there, as does Arrow. If you knew what Arrow produced and for who, you might just say, I'm going to buy the Arrow instead of spending the money on this. But I haven't heard many problems with Palmettos. Yes, there's differences. Yes, they may fail under extreme duress or stress quicker than others. But for the average guy, they will outlast you and your kids. So I wouldn't worry all that much about it. Gabriel Bush III. Hey, Rock, enjoying your show on my B-Day. Happy birthday, man. Couldn't be happier, relaxing in the AC. It's so hot down here in Texas. Where did you get that Grand Bayonet? I'm in need of one myself. Just do a search for either surplus gun parts, World War II surplus, a few things like that. And there's a few sites out there that will pop up, some more popular than others, but there's a few that are kind of cool. And next week I'll have them for you. I just don't recall off the top of my head. I could probably pop into a couple here and see, but it'd take me away from this right now. So I'll get them for you next week. But you'll find a bunch out there. And there's a bunch of sites, grand sites, places that specialize in grand stuff. You can find them. And most of the places lately don't have them in stock like they have 100 or 200 of them. It's onesie twosies on the nicer ones like this. Sometimes they'll sell just the sheaths, sometimes a knife without the sheaths, sometimes the whole thing. And that's where I found this. And I think I paid between 100 and 200 for that one. But it's nice. Joe, I thought about PSA stuff, then Bear Creek had that sale. It's like Bear Creek too. I have some Bear Creek components a couple things. One is a buffer tube, and it's on the OD rifle. I bought it because they were the only ones making OD buffer tube I could find at the time. But, yeah, I've heard some bad stuff about Bear Creek here and there. And that firing pin was from Bear Creek. Now, did they make the carrier and the pin? I don't know. I'm sure you guys could say, somebody here, I'm sure, has broken a firing pin at some point. I mean, that's a wearable part, but this was a brand new upper. So I don't know. Like I said, I've had and had dozens of ARs of every, not every, but mid to upper tier ARs. And I've never broken one, even with the thousands and thousands of rounds I've put through them. So I don't know. It's all on what's in the budget, man. And hey, you got it. And that's what counts. Use it, test it, use the hell out of it. As much as you can afford to do, shoot that thing and find out what's wrong. When you replace it with a better part then or something. But, the base is the base, and then the rest of it can be changed out, whatever. It's what you can afford and what fits your budget. Nobody but you knows your budget and what you can afford. And something's better than nothing. And as time goes on, you can upgrade. So don't worry about PSA, though. They are what they are, man. That company has done this country a great, great service in the anti-gun fight. You hear everything you hear about with this assault weapon ban and all is weapons in common use, right? Commonality. And it's all about, if a weapon is in common use, then it's protected by the Second Amendment. Well, that was Palmetto State Armory's mission statement. They wanted to get enough ARs out there cheap enough into as many Americans' hands as possible. And in doing so, they made it a common weapon. There's, by all accounts, something like 25 or 30 million ARs out there right now. And, it's common use. So it's protected by the Second Amendment. You can't take them away, supposedly. We'll see what happens. But that was his mission when he started it, to get them into as many hands as possible and, allow it to fall into things like that. So, hey, he's done a great job. And I'll give him this. Although some people complain about them using their customers as the guinea pigs, they keep at it, like with their AKs. And they've now have a great weapon. Like I said, it's always been the trunnions were the problem with American guns. They were using cheap castings, and now they've got forgings. And several years ago, before a lot of you guys were into AKs, the argument always was, we hear it all the time on AK files and stuff. They're never, it's too much to develop a good forging. And they're not going to sell enough of them to make it worth any gun manufacturer's while to tool up to make these forged trunnions. Well, lo and behold, they did. Do you know that, what company? Oh, Polish rifles, actually. And I can't remember if it's WBP or if it's FB Radom rifles. But the guns they build for military contracts, okay, military contracted Polish guns that are, they're filling contracts for other countries, whether they're Middle Eastern countries, third world, whatever, other European countries. The AK variants they sell in these military contracts, the front trunnions are cast. And the guns they import here to the U.S. are forged trunnions. Why? Because Americans demand forged trunnions. We have created this unique thing here in the States. And I'll tell you right now who started it. It's Rob Ski with AK Operators Union. He was the one that started the 5,000 round tests. And, it all started because of Century and cheap guns and guns failing. And, everybody was bitching about the platform, and Rob loved the platform and wanted to show everybody here in the States how good it was, and what it could be used for, and what it could do, and that it wasn't this inaccurate pile of junk. So he started testing them and holding these manufacturers accountable, starting with Century, and all the other ones, and the 5,000 round test. Think about it. What other platform or gun, rifle, pistol, shotgun, pistol caliber, carbine, anything, what other platform do we test like they do the AK? Why was it that the AK was singled out, that we have to do these massive 5,000 round tests, and we got to drop it off buildings and drag it behind cars and run it over and throw it in lakes and stuff it with seaweed and banana cream pie and all this other stuff? Why was it that the AK, we had to do this? No other platform does that. You don't see polymer pistol 5,000 round tests. We're going to see which one holds up. I wonder how many other platforms would actually pass the 5,000 round test and the crap that they do to them in these torture tests, right? I think we might be amazed to find out how few or how many fail the tests. But it's funny. Why the AK? I think because, as they refer to them as century monkeys, bringing these imports in, hogging out the mag wells and changing furniture and grinding off bayonet lugs, and all the stuff they did created such a mess that somebody had to do it. And then there was the IO fiasco, right? Those things were junk. And it was, they marketed guns to the average shooter that wanted to get an AK and say, I have one in my collection. He takes it to the range. He fires 2 or 3 boxes through it. He puts it in his safe, and it comes out once a year, gets 20 rounds put through it, and gets put away. And the rifle was good enough for that. It would hold up. But when guns started being used more and used in 3-gun or different things, they weren't holding up. They were junk. And then they got so lax in their building of these guns that they were such garbage. So they came out of the box and failed, and some blew up and all kinds of crap. Yeah, what you hear was true. And so Rob started holding these people accountable. And it was great for the enthusiast because we got way better guns. You wouldn't have the guns you have today, or the companies you have, or the have. Do you think Wasser's Romanian guns would be have finishes and better wood and not come all scuffed up like they did? Would you think you would have seen those improvements? Probably not, because Rob's videos and all of that caught on. Let's face it, the AK is so much more popular than it ever has been. Used to be ARs were the expensive things, AKs were cheap. Now it's the exact opposite. ARs are a dime a dozen, and Kalashnikovs are going through the roof because everybody wants one, and they're way better. You can pretty much be assured that whatever you buy AK right now is a damn good rifle for the most part. I'd say 99% of them. Arsenal, great guns. Yeah, the Yugo guns, Zastava, they've always been fabulous, even when Century imported them. All of that. It's hard to find a bad one, but it still amazes me that, this is the only platform that this is done to. Anyhow, getting back to the initial, what I was commenting on, the U.S. guns are finally there. They're finally using forged trunnions. They cracked the secret. They've got their hardnesses down. Trigger groups are matching the hardness of bolt carriers, so you're not mushrooming the ends on the carriers anymore. All of that stuff. All of that was just American companies not knowing. They didn't have the data package like these COMBLOC countries did. So, the thing was, we'll throw a Tapco G2 in a Zastava or whatever else Century was importing or building themselves, and the trigger was way harder. The Tapco trigger was hardened way harder than the bolt carrier, and it started destroying the bolt carriers. And so, oh, Zastavas are junk. Look at that. No, they're not. The Tapco piece of junk that they put in it was what's wrong. And I know there's a lot of you out there that, oh, Tapco G2s are the shit. No, they're not. Tapco in my book is junk. They feel grindy. Even after you work them over, such better triggers out there now. The ALG, don't even think twice about anything. Throw an ALG in whatever you want. Fine Group's got some good triggers out there. And even Century's trigger now is pretty darn good. Tapco's okay. Granted, they're not around anymore. They're gone, but yeah, I don't miss them. But now Kalashnikov USA too. Great guns, fabulous guns. But isn't that funny that the Polish companies, WBP, whichever one it is, the guns they're selling to militaries around the world have cast trunnions. But here in the U.S., they won't bring those guns in because if they brought their rifle in with a cast trunnion, nobody would buy it. It would be immediately thought of as junk. You couldn't touch, the company would fail because of that. And Americans will not buy guns with cast trunnions, even though the castings the Polish company is using are quality castings. They'll hold up. But here in the States, we were using crap castings, they wouldn't hold up. So these guns are holding up to mil spec in armies and being used, and they're just fine, but we won't buy one here. So they were smart. The Polish started importing guns with forged trunnions. And are they better? Sure. Forged is always better than cast. But is cast necessarily bad? No, not at all. Look at Ruger. Ruger has perfected the art of casting parts. Ruger probably uses more cast parts than anybody. It's thought of as a high-quality firearm. And they don't break. They don't wear out. Their castings are magnificent, right? Do some break? Sure. Anything can break. Any company can have some problems. But, there's nothing wrong with casting if it's done right. But America's finally figured it out. Palmetto State stuff is great. It's the only gun you can get the FN barrel on one, right? Chrome lined, cold hammer forged, everything. Great barrel, great gun. Kolejnikov USA, as some will say, they're somehow, some way, 5-10 companies down the line owned wholly or partly by the Russian Kalashnikov concern. Of course, that would be against the law because we've banned that company from doing business here. But, they form this company, that shell company, they go to this country, that country buys the company over here. And before you know it, they're over here, the U.S. company, Kalashnikov concern, owned by this company, that company, this company. And who's in charge of it ultimately? Kalashnikov concern in Russia. Is that true? I don't know, but there's some people in the know on the inside that I've talked to that say that is the truth and that the actual data package is, in fact, direct from Kalashnikov. I tend to believe it. We'll see one day, I'm sure. But they build a great rifle, man. Nothing wrong with it. When I tell you guys to buy imports, I tell you because imports will go away someday. They will. Bottom line, Chinese ones have gone away. Russian have gone away. What are they going to ban next? I'll bet you see some bans out of Turkey pretty soon. Not that it's AKs, but their shotguns and all of that. Turkey's to the point you can buy a super high-end shotgun out of Turkey. Do they make junk shit boxes? Sure. I'm staring at one right now. $99 shotgun. Is it garbage? Yes. But do those same gun makers over in Turkey importing here under 10 different labels, do they make fine shotguns? Absolutely. It's what these importers spec, right? But Turkey doing the things it does and the relationship we have with them, I'll bet you see stuff banned from there. You never know. You could wake up tomorrow and with a signature, something's banned, just like steel case ammo going away, right? So if you don't have the imports and you need them for your collection, want them, buy the imports first. You'll always be able to get the American one, hopefully, right? But the imports can go away at any time. So make sure you grab those first. Those are the important ones to grab. After all, they're made in military arsenals that have been making them for years in many cases. In others, they're made by arsenals that are supplying militaries. Why not? Why not get the real deal first, right? Kind of like my HK, right? I waited till I could get the real deal. Is a copy just as good? Sure, in some cases. The Zenith is an actual licensed copy, licensed to Pakistan. But they consider it, a clone. We don't really do that in the AK community. We just say, well, it's Bulgarian or it's Egyptian or it's Yugoslavian or it's Russian. We don't say, oh, if they're clones, those Yugo rifles, those Estavas, those are junk. They're clones. No, we say they're the real thing. So why don't we do it with HK? Why? Because HK has that mystique about it. It's the money, right? Somebody the other day said I was flexing or something. The only reason to buy a real HK is because you're flexing. You're showing off. That's not why I bought it. I bought it because if you're going to collect an HK, you collect an HK, not a copy, right? But Yugo, Bulgarian, these are guns that were used by armies in actual military conflict. And I collect guns that are actual rifles used in military conflict. That's what I like. So you do it, right? Anyhow, enough of that rant. Let's see what else you guys are doing here. Tommy Guns, he's been talking smack at you since the start. He doesn't talk smack. We just joke around with each other. I'm sure one day me and Tommy will actually meet and we'll have a good old time. He's a lot like me. I got a feeling. I don't know. Except he's got a lot more guns than me. That's for sure. Gabriel Budish III, mine is a SA October 44. Here they had the 15-inch then, and after 46 went to 10-inch. No, I don't believe so. I think the 10-inch was there from the time they got the Grand originally. I think the 16 inches were all cut down for it. There may have been some, I do know that some full 16-inch bayonets off of 1907, whatever, bolt action went right onto the Grands as full 16-inch barrels. Some did. But I'm pretty sure the rifle was spec'd out to have a 10-inch bayonet or very soon after its introduction. And they certainly had 10-inchers during the war, I believe. I could be wrong if somebody else here knows and can confirm it. But I believe, let's see, you said 44, they had the 15-inch, then after 46. I think the 10-inch came before 46. We'll find out. Somebody will answer here, or I'll look it up after the fact, and we'll talk about it next week. Must have spilled beer on it. Yeah, right. Let's see. Camera needs to meet Mr. Hammer. Yeah, it's better now, though. It's focusing. Rockford, bring your smack talk. Let's go. You guys have noticed I don't smack talk about Tommy anymore. When I did, it was just in fun. This channel wouldn't be the same without Tommy here every week. Oh, so Joe says he won that gift card in a giveaway and gave it to me. I ended up calling another Canadian friend, track down their address, and have some happy tears inbound. Cool. You got another brass snarf on film and lost it. Yeah, I know. It was terrible. What'd you order? Tommy ordered some new primary arms glass on the way for his Mark 12. Can't wait to shoot that one. PRI factory built. What's PRI? I know who that. Guess what? If PRI is who I think it is, I know the owner of that company personally. Um, his daughter and my daughter were roommates in college, if PRI is who I think it is. And she came home with a bunch of T-shirts for me from them. And I said, T-shirts? You couldn't have brought me the rifle? You know, if it's the same company I'm thinking about. I think they were famous for developing that rifle, right? The Mark 12 or Mod 12 or whatever. Or something to do with the optics. I don't know. So you got a Primary Arms. What scope did you get? I love Primary Arms optics. I probably have no less than 15 or 20 of them, including red dots, prisms, variable optics, and precision scopes. My highest end one is one of their gold scopes, 2.5 by 10, with the turrets that return with the zero stop and everything. And it's a great scope. It really is. Again, made in China, but a lot of their stuff now, their glass is coming out of Japan, and some is even coming out of what's the other high-end producer of optic lenses now? You know, it used to be Germany, Zeiss and all of that, Swarovski. Now that's not the good stuff. Yeah, it's still good, but the really good stuff's coming out of Japan, and I'm having a brain fart what the other company is, or country, I should say. But Primary Arms will do, you know, the Canadian scope tube, or Canadian. I don't know what I'm doing tonight. The Chinese scope tube and all, but with the Japanese glass, and it's put together really, really well. You can spec anything out of China. Don't think for a minute that everything out of China is junk. Yeah, go to Walmart and get whatever you're buying that's made in China, and it's junk because that's how they spec it. But Primary Arms is an American company that probably doesn't own the factory over there. They may now own a factory, or maybe one factory is doing all their work, but I don't think that's the case either. I think like Primary Arms and Holosun, a lot of their stuff's coming out of the same place. But Primary Arms will spec, hey, we need a scope with this, this, and this, and it's got to come into us at this price point. What can you give us? And they build it and they show them and they say, okay, change this and this, and I still need it to come in at costing at under $80. Okay, there you go. They mark it up to 160 or 240 and sell it to you. Then they call the factory and they say, hey, we need a super high quality scope with super clear glass, and it's the turrets have to track, and we want metal gears in it and all this stuff, and I need it to come in under $800. And China builds it, and here's this magnificent scope because they spec'd it that way, and yes, it costs more. Is it less than other countries? Sure, because the labor costs whatever, shipping's cheaper, this, that, the other. But, you know, you get a magnificent scope. I have had nothing from Primary Arms fail. Trying to think if anything has failed me from there. I don't think anything has failed. It's all decent, if not great. And I've had great luck with it. I can't say enough about that one of their Gold Series scope, that 2.5 by 10. I would take another one right now in somewhere like a 8 by 32 or 8 by 25 or something. That's one optic I really need to get, either to put on my 308 AR-10, or what else would I put it on? I might put it on an AR, or my bolt gun. I need one for my bolt gun is what I need, my 308 bolt gun. But yeah, Tommy knows what's going on. Palmetto State is great stuff. Really is. They have something for every budget. So, and you get decent, whatever budget you're in, you're getting the best you possibly can for that price point. Put it that way. Joe, 45 ammo is knuckin' futz lately. Yeah, it is. 45. Anybody else notice that? 45 APC, 45 auto is nuts. The pricing is absolutely out of. The only thing worse is 45 long Colt. $60 a box, $65 a box for 45 Colt cowboy rounds. Are you fucking kidding me? That's insane. I love shooting 45 Colt. I ain't paying no $65 a box. Thank God I reload it, or I wouldn't shoot it at all. Tommy, I want to get 500 rounds of good defensive ammo, so I'm sure it will be crazy, although I can find a good deal from some locals. Ammo order. Oh, okay. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up on these comments, guys, so we can get back to talking about AKs. Damn it, it just jumped on me. Now I got to go back and find out where I was here. I was just seeing where somebody says, who's always late? Oh, man, there's other super chats in here too. What the heck? Oh, Martin. Martin just got in here. Good to see you. Vanessa Kitty's in here. Good to see them. Migs and Throck, does YouTube take part of the super chat you get? Yes, they do. They take a little bit of it. But it's the easiest way. If you guys want to go direct, you can do, and I know a lot of guys hate doing it. They can do PayPal too, but I got to think about it. I don't even know what my, I guess it's Rockford Ordnance. I think. No, it's not. I don't know. I'll find out next week. For now, you can use the super chat. It's just fine. It's not bad. But I guess I should put maybe PayPal up or get Patreon running or something like that. But for now, it's all I got. What can I say? So they do take a little bit. Someone was saying send donations to Cash App instead, so you get more. Yeah, you know what? Next week I'll have one for you guys. I'll put it in here. But for now, it's fine. Tommy, I bought them all, LOL, except the Barillas. Got a few 5.56 and only one 7.62. Could only get a few, but nothing coming in for optics mount. Are you talking about the Baril? Yeah, I only do 7.62 guns, really. I don't mind 5.56, 223 guns in an AK, but I got that SAM. I guess I wouldn't mind a stamped gun in it. I don't know. We'll see. I want the original Baril. You know what? In the Baril, 5.56 would be okay, I guess. I guess that's kind of in the Baril. I don't know what's kind of more original, which caliber, but I like 7.62. Shadow Panther's in here. He has a Romanian AK. Can't go wrong with that, man. Everybody in here at one point probably started with a Romanian Wasser and ended maybe. There's nothing wrong. It's not saying that, it's a starter AK or something. It's just not fair. That doesn't mean only beginners or beginner collectors have them. No, they're great guns. As a matter of fact, they are the closest variant to an AKM, Russian AKM, as you can buy. And the great thing about them is every accessory, option, hand grip, stock, safety, this, that, the other part will fit on a Wasser. So you can customize to your heart's content. You can go nuts with it. They're great. You can get all kinds of different wood and all kinds of stuff. Have a blast with them. They run forever. They are some of the most reliable AKs on the market. Their quality is way up now compared to 15 years ago when I bought one. It was absolute twisted. I said last week, I'll say it this week. I want to get my hands on one of the newer Wassers to put to the collection just because. That being said, I've got a ton of Romanian. I don't have just a Wasser. I'm looking over here at a mini Draco that I love. I've got an AES 10B, which is the RPK they imported. That's a great gun, and that's as close to a Russian AK or RPK as you're going to get. I also had a Romanian RPK paratrooper kit built by Two River Arms. That's one of my favorite and most collectible and perfect guns I own. So I own a bunch of Romanian stuff. If you guys don't have one, get an RPK. They're so cool. They're fun to take. I shot the new M77 PAP 308. It's good to go. Alan just got a new M77. Me and him were talking the other night on the premiere of the Grand video. And he got that M77. I was going to ask you that night if you shot it, but we had the chat last week, and I knew you hadn't. Still cool. How'd it shoot? How's the recoil on that thing? And is the gas is not adjustable on that, right? The only AK in 308 I've shot, I'm trying to think. It was actually an IWI Galil pistol in 308. IWI Galil pistol in 308. Think about that. Yeah, that thing thumped pretty good. Actually, that gun was donated to an auction we did through Krebs to help out one of his employees. IWI just donated it, said give it away, and for people to buy raffle tickets, helped his family out. And that was a hell of a rifle. Pistol, I should say. I might work something on a trade for. No, that one's not ever going away. Never. So I don't. That's the thing. I don't get rid of guns. I research. I buy what I like, and that's that. When I own it for the most part. Lately, I have a Springfield AR-10 St. Victor and Springfield AR-15 St. Victor pistol, a Ruger AR-15, and a Tavor by 95, says Shadow Panther. Shadow, let me tell you, you have, I'm going to start backwards here because your Tavor X95, Tommy will chime in. He's got one. I got one. That gun is phenomenal. IWI, Israeli company. They build all the guns for the Israeli armed forces, special forces. That Tavor is magnificent. It's so fun to shoot. It's so short, so handy, accurate, built tough, built smart. So many cool features on it. If you put an optic on it yet, if you have, what have you put on it? I have a Holosun 510C on it. Awesome red dot on there. I love that gun. It's so fun to shoot. The only drawback to that gun is it crunches the crap out of the brass. So rarely, if ever, will I shoot new ammo out of it because I can't reload it then. And I won't fire like once fired, twice fired, 3-time fired stuff. I'll save like my 7th or 8th reload stuff for it. So then when I shoot it through there and it's bent to crap and it hits the ground, I just leave it. Or I shoot steel case out of it. That's a great gun to shoot 5.56 Wolf steel case out of. And I'm not going to go through it again for the new guys. Anybody tells you steel case will hurt your gun doesn't know what they're talking about. Don't listen to them. If they tell you it'll hurt your gun, walk the other way. They don't know what they're talking about. It won't hurt your gun. They absolutely don't know what they're talking about. So the by 95, love it. Tommy loves his. Great gun. Springfield Saints. When the Saints first came out, they had their standard Saint rifle, and then they had, I forget what they called it, the Saint Edge, I think it was called. It was a billet receiver. If it wasn't billet, it was forged, but had some different lines. It had like an upside down V cut on the magwell and some other stuff. And I thought that was the coolest AR I had seen forever. And my local shop had one, and I almost bought it that night, but they had something else. I bought it instead. I thought, I'm going to come back tomorrow and grab that. I came back the next day, it was gone. And then I don't know if it was because of something, an election or COVID. It wasn't COVID, it was before that. But there were none available for the longest time. I watched for one, and then the price had went up, and I just blew it. And then they had a few problems with the Saints right out of the box, and I thought, I'll wait a little while. And I just haven't come back to them. But I think they're great guns. They certainly have some really cool variants with some really cool features, and I'm sure you probably love yours. What else did you say? St. Victor pistol, Ruger AR-15. They do the direct impingement, and then they do the gas guns too. I got a ton of Rugers, and what can you say bad about a Ruger? I mean, great guns too. And he's got a Springfield AR-10 St. Victor too. I don't know much about those. I built mine an Arrow, and mine's kind of very unique with the I've got a buffer that most people don't know anything about, the length. Watch my videos on my AR-10, and you'll learn a lot about gas systems and buffers and all on the AR-10. And it's a very unique system, and it works fabulous. I got a bunch of videos. Check them out. And if you got any questions, then bring the questions back here and we'll answer them. Yes, I do have I shouldn't say I have an FAL. My dad has an FAL. I have a video on it, and it's a super nice gun. I did shoot with El Tenda's channel. DSA Arms is real close to him in Chicago, and they make more FALs than anybody today. And he had one of their carbines, the Shorty, and there's a video on it. Me and him did a collaboration range day thing, and we shot it. And man, what a nice gun! Because as cool as the FALs are, the original stuff, I like the Hebrew hammer, the Israeli versions with the Galil style handguards and all on them. Those are, I'd love to have one of those. When DSA put out a bunch of those, I should have grabbed one back then because I thought they were cool, and one of those guns you put off and buy something else, and I should have bought one. And now they're going for big money. But they're always fun to shoot. They're super long. They're heavy, so it's one of those guns you take out once in a while, but they're super accurate. I want to put an optic on the one we have and see what it can really do, because it's a match grade barrel and stuff. But I just haven't done it. I bought the mount for it and just haven't put it on there. But yeah, FAL is awesome. That Shorty one was cool though. So you could have a carbine and actually use an FAL that felt more usable, not 8 feet long and 8-inch flash hider and all that crap. Alan Bishop, SGL 21 for 5,700. Oof, are you kidding me? I would not give anywhere near that. Tommy. No. Some are going for big money, I guess. In my book, I don't know that I'd want to pay over $3,000 for one. God, I remember when they were $500, so it's hard, but I get it. I get what they are. You'll see these things come down though, guys. They're not going to stay up there. Come on. That's more than some of the Chinese stuff. That's crazy. No way. I don't know. Me and Tommy got to talk. Maybe that's what they are. I don't know. Maybe I'm just off. True American Loretta is here. Cool. Good to have you. But the side folder I have is a unicorn made from only about 150 kits Arsenal brought in. I got all the paperwork, but it's a long story on this one. Really rare deal. Yeah, it's so rare, Tommy, that I haven't heard of that. So they brought in 150 of those kits, put them together, and done. Wow, I'm gonna have to research that. I would, dude. I would love to do a video on that rifle and compare it and contrast it and stuff. That would be a great video. I don't know that I've ever seen anyone do a video on that gun. We got to talk on that one and figure out something. Maybe we meet up one day to shoot or something and do a video. That would be awesome. That's really interesting. Forgot my namification. I still have my C39 V2 with a head spacing issue. Imagine that. My gunsmith could fix it for about $200. I just don't want to spend more for a new rifle yet. What do you reckon? So he's just gonna take the pin out, move the trunnion, repin it, drill it oversized, and put an oversized pin in, and hope it holds, right? I wonder if it'll just wear again. You know what I mean? What does he say? I don't know. Those guns, there was the C39, and then there was the other one. One was milled, and one was stamped, and one of them was okay, and the other one was pure garbage. I don't remember. For $200, I might take a shot and see. But at the end of the day, I will tell you to maybe put the 200 in it, get it done, and then sell it. And then get yourself an import. Get yourself a ZPAP or one of the Polish guns or an Arsenal or a Wasser. Any one of those, you're talking 800 for a Wasser. You're talking under 1,000 for a ZPAP. An Arsenal, you're probably minimum 12 to 1,500. What else did I say? Polish gun. I think MSRP is around 1,200, maybe. That's the way I would go. I would not hold on to that gun. It has no collector value whatsoever. It's questionable at best quality, and it's never going up in value. So, and may or may not cause you problems. And that's not picking on you. That's not saying picking on your gun. It just is what it is. And don't feel bad. A ton of people got caught in that trap, man. It looks like an AK. It smells like an AK. It just doesn't walk like an AK. And my first gun was a Sentry gun. Fortunately, it was the best probably they ever put out. And that's because they didn't build it. They contracted out for it. But I have a M70 AB2 Yugo underfolder kit gun. I think mine was put together by Two Rivers, maybe. I was doing them at the time. I forget. But great gun. At the time, everybody laughed at it, said, Sentry junk. Now they're good. Why? Because they've held up. They were military parts. They were put together by them, but they held up. Yeah, if you can, maybe spend the 200 so you can sell it legitimately, a working gun that's safe. 200 is not bad. And, I don't know what you got in it, but get out what you can and put it toward a new one. Maybe get a Wasser. I'd probably, if money's the thing, go for a Wasser or a ZPAP, preferably a ZPAP, I guess. Yeah, why not? Do it. Or if that's all you can do right now, put the 200 in, shoot it, see what happens, and have fun. If you're fine with that, you're fine with it. Shoot it and have fun. If it holds up, great. Assault weapon is nothing but a communist propaganda term. My guns are for defensive purposes. Assault weapon was actually a term brought up by, I just heard it the other night, who invented it. And they were basically a socialist liberal, I don't know if it was a politician or someone in the gun grabber side of things, but they came up with it, and they even gave the year the other day. I saw it on a newscast, and now I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it was not the Communist Party or Russians supposedly or something like that. But I guess you could say Communist Party. They were definitely uh, far left liberal gun grabbers with an agenda that came up with that term. Now, what is it? Weapons of war, right? Weapons of war, weapons of war, weapons of war, weapons of war, weapons of war. Every channel you go on, they send out memos with what they need to say, what all these news agencies, what the term of the day is, right? And they repeat it like trained monkeys, right? That's all they do. And they have an agenda, an absolute agenda. And they've now said it multiple times. Jerry Nadler, one of our Republican congressmen, got him to say it. He is so stupid that he easily brought out of him. So the whole argument is common use, right? Heller confirmed that. It's confirmed in the Bruin case now. It's all, any weapon in common use is protected under the Second Amendment. So this Republican comes out and says, Mr. Nadler, so what you're telling me is you want to ban a weapon that's in common use. And what does Nadler say? Well, of course, that's why I want to ban it, because they're so common. And ding, everybody just went, oh my God, did that friggin' moron just say that? So now any 2A case that comes up, they're going to refer right back to that footage. This is in general counsel in a congressional meeting. He said this. They will be able to refer back to that in every assault weapon ban, gun ban, mag ban case, and say this is their agenda. This is what they want to do, and boom, on its face, unconstitutional. Night. Nadler, that pain in the ass, high-waisted pants wearing friggin' idiot, just an idiot. And he proved it right there. One of his compatriots even tried to stop him from talking. He jumped in and said, oh, but you're out of time, or whatever he was saying, to try and cut him off. But they stopped that, and Nadler kept babbling away because he was so confident he knew what he was talking about. Just like that other Democrat that in Congress tried to say that a pistol brace was a bump stock. He was standing up there saying, this pistol brace causes the rate of fire to go much faster, way faster. And the Republican said, are you kidding me? He even said, he goes, you are about to find out in about 5 minutes flat just what the internet knows. Meaning everyone was going to blow up the internet with his footage showing what an idiot he was. They have no idea what they're talking about, guys. This guy literally thought, and the problem is he's on every news channel, and every anti-gunner, every person on the fence, every Moms Demand Action bullshit group is out there hearing, well, pistol braces make it go full auto. That's what they heard, unfortunately. And, the CNNs of the world and the rest of them, they won't show the Republican coming back and saying, no, that's not what they do. Here, look it up on Wikipedia, he told them. Pull it up on Wikipedia. That's what he said. But that's how, and this guy was swearing up and down that he was right. They know nothing. It's like, what's her name? We're going to ban all these fully semi-automatic guns. Fully semi-automatic. I know you guys know all this. I know I'm preaching to the choir. It's amazing how absolutely they know nothing about it. Nothing. I want to find the first Democratic congressperson, senator, politician anywhere that is leaning anti-gun or anti-Second Amendment, but has the balls and the brains to say, I want to stand up and I want to go to the range with someone like Rockford Ordnance, and I want to learn something. I don't, whether they want to shoot a gun, not shoot a gun, but they actually want to learn what these things are. One of them maybe would say, so Mr. Rockford Ordnance, how does a pistol brace work? And I'd show him. Now, what is semi-automatic? And I'd show him. Obviously, I can't show him full automatic because I don't have any full automatics. But you could, show them, teach them, explain to them in real life so they can prove it to themselves right then and there. Show me a high capacity mag. Well, I really don't have any. I have a lot of standard capacity mags, at least have the ethics, the willingness to find the truth and show the truth and say it, learn. And then if you still hate them afterwards, or you still think this should be banned or dangerous, fine. But at least have the basic knowledge to be able to talk intelligently about it. I'll have a conversation with you about Second Amendment rights, about why you think the public shouldn't have something and why I think they should. I will have an intelligent conversation with anyone, any day of the week. Let them talk, listen to them talk, allow them to hear my side. I'll hear their argument, they'll hear mine. I love those conversations, but I refuse to have conversations and you can't even talk to these people because they have no friggin' idea what they're talking about, not in the least bit. Most have never held anything, have never shot anything, don't know anything about it. It's like 9mm will blow your lung out, right out the other side. That's what your president said. That's what your president said. I have never blown a lung out the backside of a deer with any high-powered rifle magnum caliber. Never happened. But, yep, all these lungs are getting blown out left and right by 9mm. All right, let's see. What's he saying? Head spacing or bolt carrier. I know you can swap out bolt carrier, get a new import one if you get head spacing done. Yeah, if it's the bolt or bolt carrier that's going bad on that CV, you could do that. Get them a nice forged carrier that'll work in it and a bolt, and have your gunsmith head space it to that. Otherwise, if they're just cast parts that are going bad, you're going to be in the same position a few boxes of ammo down the road. So you might as well do that. Squeaky Cooler, spell check is freaking joke already. Why? Who did spell check on what? I think the new M77 is going to be an addition in here real soon. Squeaky. I don't know. I appreciate them, don't get me wrong, but I don't really care for AK platform and other calibers, other than I like the 223 guns. I just wanted at least one, so if I couldn't get 7.62 ammo, I had a gun to shoot the most common ammo in this country out of. And I do like 7.62 by 54R in like a PSL. That's cool. Which I guess 308 is kind of a thing, like for a DMR like that or something. NATO round, I don't know. Just not into that, really. Just one of those things. Let's see. Yeah, Tommy, that's what I was talking about. Get it fixed for the 200 and then sell it. I couldn't in good conscience sell a gun that's out of headspace to somebody and they get hurt or something. Yeah, and on the flip side, like I said, spend that money. If he can get it done for 200 and a couple parts, why not? I want a mini jack. Those are very cool. A lot of good videos out on those lately. You know, I would have had a video out in it too, but lately, yeah, Mrs. Rock is tight on the money these days. I can't get my hands on nothing. Gonna have to start relying on some local gun shops to supply me stuff to test. Let's see. Love to buy a Glow Ace. I still got to put a lot more rounds through mine. I love it. I don't know what optic I'm going to stick with yet on it, but I love it. I got to outfit it a little bit. I wish I had the Gen 1 as opposed to the Gen 2. If I could trade even for it, I would love to grab one. Tommy Guns, Shadow Panther, the original SAR and X95. He said the X95 in it. The original one's cool. I wouldn't mind having an original. The what's the version that came with the optic? The IDA or not ID, IDF. What is it? I'd like one of those if I could find one. I almost bought one. There was one new in the box when I bought mine, and I almost bought it. And I went into my local shop, and they had one, and I got it. Shadow Panther, it's a damn good gun, my best. It serves its purpose and credit. Yes, it does. You got a full-length barrel, 16-inch barrel, that's shorter than a lot of SBRs, yet handles like a full-size rifle. You get full velocity, works incredibly well, accurate as hell, really easy to carry, short cases, concealable, all that great stuff. It's an awesome rifle. There's a couple guys in here that's their go-to rifle, and I can see why. And I could see myself going that way. I really could. It's that much fun. And, it's a different manual of arms, so just got to get used to that mag being closer in and working in your workspace here with it and tilting that rifle in. You tilt it in for those mag changes, and it's such a great rifle. So easy to clean, everything. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to clean mine up tonight and take it to the range. I got a bunch of Wolf steel case I want to burn through. Great gun. Use it, man. Shoot it and shoot it and shoot it. Get fast with it. That's such a great gun, and it is so fast. You almost sometimes got to slow down because it can swing so fast. You can overswing on targets and stuff. God, it's just so handy. I love that gun. You can switch the ejection side to side, everything. So cool. HK is damn good gun. It is. I didn't necessarily believe the hype before I got mine, but the intrigue started with my Spanish set me. Cool rifle, and I got to really feel the recoil on that roller delayed blowback system, and I got to feel just how it cycled and how that whole thing felt. And I was intrigued by the roller blowback. And that gun got me going on it. And then on the MP5, if it wasn't so iconic, I probably wouldn't have bought it. But just the way I had recently gotten that set me and how intrigued I was there, and then they became available, and the MP5 is so iconic. And to me, you got to have at least one version in a collection. Everybody that sees an MP5 knows what an MP5 is. The Bruce Willis gun, the Die Hard gun, this gun, every good movie it's in. I just watched a great movie last night, guys. If you haven't seen it, it's on Netflix. It's called Gray Man. Holy cow. There are so many phenomenal action sequences, gunfights, shootouts, explosions, airplanes, helicopters. There's more in the, and better action footage in this movie than name the last 10 great, or in 10 minutes in this movie than all those movies put. CIA type of movie, and it's really good. I enjoyed it a lot. Had a little of the kung fu stuff, like in what's the Keanu Reeves movies? John Wick, a little bit like that. Matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if some of the people that helped out in the John Wick movies were in this. Some awesome driving, bus, train scenes, incredible stuff. Cool weapons, just a great movie. It's on right now on Netflix. If you can watch it, watch it. It's great. If you got to go to bed, don't start it right now because you won't. You'll finish it. Let's see. Good to have you in here, Shadow Panther. It's good to see new people come in with new things to add and talk about. Really cool. MZ flex away, Rock. Nothing wrong with that. You worked hard for it. I don't flex, dude. I bought it. I kind of regret it a little bit. I just seemed like I had scratched my itch with the little sub guns, you know, my Scorpions. I love those so much. And then I bought that Ruger Charger takedown, and that was kind of, shouldn't have. I like it. It's cool, but kind of redundant. And then this, I like had so many of these little 9mm subguns. I thought, another one. I guess if you're going to have one, that's the one to have. But the Scorpions are so cool, and they're so light. But the recoil is definitely lighter on the MP5, but it's a lot heavier gun. I love that little K model Scorpion, but I love my full size one too. I love them both. Those guns I will never get rid of. I absolutely love them. They're great. But the quality is nowhere near what the MP5 is. On my one, I worry about the bolt, actually. Some weird stuff went on there with the in-battery safety. It kind of got smeared and smushed and held it stuck in. So it didn't work as a drop or a trigger safety, I guess, you know. The gun could fire even if dropped, I guess. And it screwed up it feeding and different stuff. And it was caused by a jam, actually. The guns run great with factory mags. They run okay with the Manticore mags, and they run okay with the Magpul mags. But with the factory mags, they run phenomenal. So that's that. Let's see if there's any new ones in here. Forget my notifications. Brills are great too. Might get one of those now that I think about it. Yeah, those are great. Let's see. Squeaky, I must be flexing too, LOL, because I also bought an HKS P5. Way to go, Squeak. How you liking it, man? You didn't buy the K, did you? I do, you know, I say, but at the same time, I go, I wish maybe I didn't buy that. But I want a K. Why? Because I like my K Scorpion so much. And that K is really cool. And I wonder if I'd like that better than the full size. I debated when I was buying it, but I'm certainly not going to throw out that kind of money again. But you never say never, right? Ellen Bishop, Tommy, yeah, the EOTech 512s are good. I've had a 512 forever. I've had one over 15 years, and the battery compartment has gotten corroded more than one time. I've cleaned it up. It still works, but it does funky stuff every now and then, or I can't get it to turn on right away. I got to hit the button a bunch of times. The new EOTech that's on my Go to War AR, God, I love that setup with the magnifier. The 512 is cool because It looks great on an Alpha Clone AK because that's what the Spetsnaz used back in the day. That's what they could get. That was cutting edge, right? So you always saw 512s on Spetsnaz AKs. So when I built my Krebs gun into the Alpha, I put the 512 on it right away, and I thought it looked so cool on there, and it does. But I ended up with a variable power optic on there. But I do have that 512 set up on an Arsenal side mount, so I can switch it out. Kind of cool. Rockford Orange, the GLX 2.5 by 10 is the one I just ordered with Raptor reticle. So that's what I have, the 2.5 by 10. It is on my DMR AR, my TAN DMR AR. Super accurate gun, and that scope helps, of course. Yeah, I love that scope. I really do. I just wish, like, 200 and over, I wish I had a little more power. But I love it. It's perfect in intermediate rifle scope. It's crystal clear. The adjustments, it's got steel clickers, you know, and it's just so nice. Just nice rifle scope. I'd like the same one, but maybe 25 power or something. I don't know. Can you imagine if this is that good, what their Platinum series is like, their PLX line? I don't know what the Raptor reticle is. I know I've seen it because I remember hearing Raptor. I've just got, what do I got? Oh, the mistake I did on it is I didn't get an MOA scope. I got a mil dot reticle. So it adjusts in mils instead of MOA. So you got to remember that 1 mil, what is it? See, I can't even remember, like 7.5 inches or something. And it adjusts in 1/10 of a mil are the clicks. So it weirds me out when I'm trying to, at the range. You know, I when I was first trying to sight it in, I knew it was mil, but at the time I didn't know it. I'm just clicking and adjusting. Once I got it adjusted, now I want to move it. Let's say I was trying to point of aim, point of impact, and I got to move it 2 inches left. And I'm doing like, I'm thinking, oh, it's 1/10, it says. So 10 clicks for 1 inch at 100. So I have 20 clicks, right? And all of a sudden I'm off paper. I'm like, what is going on here? And I read about it. I'm like, oh my God. And that's why I got it so cheap. That I bought that scope from Primary Arms, brand new. It was under $300, $279 or something. That's an $800 scope all day long. That's what they go for right now, $795, right? But that's why that one was cheaper. I believe they said they slightly changed the look of the turrets or something, and that's why it was cheaper. They were getting rid of the old model. But God, I wish that scope was MOA. It'd be perfect. So when I will buy another one, but it will be MOA adjustment and reticle, and probably, I don't know if I do an ACSS. I sort of just like crosshairs in that scope. And right now I'm having a brain fart trying to think what reticle is in it. What the heck? It's going to bug me. You guys want to hold on 1 second? It's sitting right over here. I'm not grabbing it. I'm just going to go over and see what reticle it is. I just brain fart. Hold on, guys. Let's see. What is it? ACSS reticle. So while the reticle is awesome, it's also single focal plane. So the reticle and all the ACS adjustments and holdovers and holdoffs are good at any power on it. With a second focal plane scope, the holdovers and all are only good at full power. And also with this first focal plane, as you adjust to lower power, the reticle, what's etched on there, gets smaller, and as you turn it up, it gets bigger. And that works great because at 2.5, it essentially functions like a red dot because you can't see all that other crap. Whereas on a dual focal plane scope, the reticle stays the same size throughout the powers. I don't know. I don't care either way. I almost prefer the cheaper, the double focal plane or two focal plane, whatever. I almost prefer that. Sometimes, guys, simpler is better. You know what I mean? But certainly that scope, no matter what you pick or what you like, the scope itself is fabulous. So pick whatever reticle, whatever adjustment you like. I just think when most scopes today, and definitely all the scopes I have, are MOA, minute of angle, to then have one scope in milled out adjustment, it throws you way off every time, and you can't make those quick adjustments on the fly. I don't know if there's a quick way to do that conversion sort of in your head. I don't know. I kind of have it sighted in where I have it sighted in, and that's that. 1 to 300, I'm there within, and tiniest little holdover, but or the ACSS reticle. So I just leave it alone. I'm not clicking with that thing, so to speak. I wish I could, and certainly on my Savage 308 bolt gun, I want a clickable scope. So that scope makes perfect sense with the lockable zero and all of that good stuff. Lighted reticle, the adjustment on the side for parallax. Awesome. It just makes total sense. I have a cheap Chinese millet scope on my bolt gun right now. The whole setup, the point was to get it done under $1,000 and have it hit at 1,000 yards. And while I have yet to find a place to shoot it at 1,000 yards, the thing is definitely half MOA out of the box. Even with my reloads, I kind of got lucky, found a round called Silver. It was Silver Creek or Silver something Armory ammo, SSA, Silver something Armory or Silver something ammo. The thing was shooting clover leaves right out of the box. I would put 5 quarters out there between two 2x4s, set them up there, and 5 quarters, 5 shots right through the quarters, and the gun just incredible out of the box. I like the AccuTrigger. I like everything, and that's with that cheap scope on there. Guys complained it lost zero and this and that. Never moved it. It works great. It's definitely not clickable. You can't do the box thing, and not even close. The only thing I'd change on that bolt gun is I'd go to the shorter barrel. Mine is the longer 20-inch or 22-inch. God, I haven't shot so long. 22, 24, 20. It's longer. I'd go to like an 18-inch, 20-inch max, maybe an 18-inch threaded, and I might do the fluted barrel instead of the heavy target barrel. But definitely shorter. They've been, the more they've been studying and doing with 308 is you don't need these long barrels to be just as accurate. It's got a Harris bipod on it, the millet scope, and I've got a monopod on the back actually too, made by this really nice company. It's all billet. It's beautifully made. Yeah, I just need a better scope on it. It would make it a lot more fun. So I'm glad you ordered that, Tommy. You're going to enjoy that. What are you going to put that on? Trying to figure out what optic to run on your PAP 77. Depends what you want to do, but a primary arms 5-power prism. How does that sound on that rifle? Kind of like, I don't think you're going super long distance, are you? Is it meant as a DMR or what? If you're going to do like a DMR, I think that'd be a cool scope because you could do the 5.56 308 reticle 5-power. Got that 3-power. I think you'd like a little more than that. Or, man, that primary arms 2.5x10 would be nice on there. Sure would. I love them for the AA batteries. That's why I got it originally. AA batteries were great on that EOTech. And I don't care what anybody says, EOTech is by far the toughest, always work holographic / red dot there is out there. The only problem with that 512 was with recoil, the batteries went this way and eventually ended up screwing up the contacts because it would flatten the spring or do whatever. That's why they went to the shorter ones with the battery sideways, eliminating that problem. 5.56 Baril is the classic since I have started importing the military issue for them. 7.6239 for other countries. So yeah, I don't know what I get in that one. Maybe the 5.56. Why not have one more? I don't know. It's got the adjustable gas on the M77. That's got to be nice then. You can almost shoot, you could adjust it or turn it off and basically have like a bolt gun too. That's kind of cool. Recoil isn't bad at all. I'm using a recoil buffer. I have that DSA 16-inch range ready para. Awesome gun, man. I bought it after watching his video. His video or the one I was in with it? Did you see the one where we almost blew that gun up? Yeah, he had a squib load, man, and it's stuck in the barrel. And I'm telling him, stop. I see him. He's trying to re-rack and get another round in. I saw all the powder come flying out of the gun. And I'm going, stop, stop, stop. And he finally stopped. And I said, I'll bet you got a round stuck in that barrel. Nah. We looked down. Sure enough, man, there it is. Had that bullet went a quarter of an inch further, that next round would have chambered and kablooey. He ended up buying that gun. It was a test gun from DSA. And it wasn't the gun's fault. It was the ammo's fault. It was some contract ammo, Egyptian contract, Polish contract maybe. And it just had a bad primer. The powder was all brown. And we knocked the bullet out of there with an AK cleaning rod. And I gave it some real 308. And man, that gun ran. Nice gun. Nice gun. I'd never pay $5,700 for a Chinese AK either. Yeah. You can buy 3 arsenals for $5,700. MZ, the SGL side folder was new in box with all documents in the folders you never see for sale. I've only seen 3 for sale in the past 4 years, and I check the web many times a day, every day. That's how I'd want mine, is new in the box with all the stuff. Or lightly used like new in the box with all the stuff. That'd be fine. No scratches, no scuffs, no nothing. Like new but fired in the box would be fine for me. But come on, $5,700? I'd have to pass at those numbers. No way. No way. Not a chance. And that's the gun to have, too, the side folder. You got to have the side folder. Yeah, that sucks. I guess I just won't own one. Some collectors will, especially for new in box. There has not been a new SGL-21 on auction sites for months. Any SGL is going to fetch $2,500 to $3,000. I'm going to find a deal locally, like you did. I know you got a cut. You picked up some super cheap deals hook a brother up. Let's see. I bought a Yugo pattern master mount scope mount. Can't go wrong with master mount. I have one for each of the Yugos. I don't do any optics on my M70s, the original ones that didn't have side mounts. I keep those iron sights, great guns. I meant it's the regular size one, not the K model. Yeah, okay. I figured. Special mags for the M77. Yeah. Let's see, Joe. 54 by 54 through 8 or 8 millimeter A1 would be badass. Like a Yugo. Yep. That's exactly what I was just looking at. LOL. 5 by prism. Yeah. That'd be, if that's the kind of range you want to be in, that's a cool scope, man. A PSL would be nice too. Let alone, well, I don't want to talk about that. I had that Tiger all set, and that store screwed me, completely screwed me. I had it bought for dirt, and they screwed me. PSL, I should have bought before. I got to get one, even though it's not all that enthralling. I want one. Anyhow, so we're through the comments. God, we touched on so much stuff tonight. Here's how I'm going to end this tonight, guys. I'm going to go through some stuff. I've talked about a couple products, talked about months ago, and just tell you how things are going. So probably the biggest fail of a tool we bought that just terrible now. It ruined one project on me, damn near ruined another. And, they've always worked. I've had them before. They worked. I never hear any bad things, but this thing, it's a fat wrench. And here's the problem. So it's a torque wrench, right? And it comes with all the bits and stuff, so you can torque all your little nutsies and boltsies down. And it starts at 10 inch-pounds and goes up to 60. Well, number one, there's a lot of stuff out there that needs 5 inch-pounds, 7 inch-pounds. So you can adjust a little bit back and be there, I'm sure, which I've done in the past. You should always store it at the 0 setting or the lowest setting, which you can see this one's at. It's all the way down there. You adjust it by pulling out, turning, and then letting it back. It can snap kind of in between areas, it seems, or it used to, where it wouldn't go back in unless it was in a notch, it felt like. Now it'll go back in. Maybe it was just either that's what's broke about it, or maybe that's how it was and it was just stiff. I don't know, but it used, when I first got it, it seemed like you pulled out, you turned, if you let off in a certain area, it wouldn't go in until you turned it a little more and it met a notch, it seemed, and then it would drop in. That's at least how it felt when it was new. Maybe that's what's broken, or maybe that's how it should have always worked. Anyways, you could set this thing at 10 inch-pounds, right? Start screwing it in, and all of a sudden it'll click, which means you hit that poundage. Now, once you do, I always do 3 after that. So it'll click, you're at your torque, and then I'll go click, click, click to make sure it's at that poundage, right? Well, I may or may not get the first one torqued, right? And I get the clicks. I move to the second screw, always, usually if I'm doing a X pattern or whatever, star pattern. Go to the next one, and you're turning, and you're turning, and you're turning, and you're feeling like, man, I should be there. I should be there already. And you're turning, and it's not clicking, and you're thinking, oh, man, this something don't feel right, but I'll trust the wrench. And you go further, and you start to feel it slip, and it's going to slip and go click, but it's slipping, but still holding. And then instead of clicking, you strip it out. it's not releasing the same poundage all the time, even though you're at the proper setting. You may get one out of it, but you're not going to get the second. It's not right. Whatever it's doing is not right. And I don't remember it doing that. I don't know. I quit using it because I ruined a pistol red dot. I ruined a SIG red dot with it. A plastic one, supposed to only go to like 5 pounds or 7 pounds, and it smashed it and ran it right through because I'm trusting this thing, and destroyed that. And then something else, can't remember, but screwed it up. 2 things, not cheap either. It has ruined. I guess I should send it back. Wheeler is not what I would call professional grade gunsmithing tools, but they're not bad, most of them. I mean, their screwdriver sets I've used are fine. All their other little stuff, punches, different things are okay. And by all reports, these have always been pretty good. I'm going to go to Fix-It Sticks, I think, or find something better. I mean, I'd be fine with this. I mean, usually my torque wrench is right here. It's built into my hands after 40 years of doing this, I know what it feels like. But on some stuff, you want to be absolutely precise. You want to be even. Let's say you got something with 4 bolts. You want to be even torque so it holds. Torque is there. So when things in multiple bolt patterns, they hold. One doesn't come loose because 2 are at a different torque than the others. Even torque is what holds those screws or bolts from backing out. If torque is uneven, that's when things get loose and come out. On a scope, it's ultimately you have to be even on those scope mount bolts. You have to. There's no choice. You don't want to be different. You don't want one at 2 at 15 and 2 at 7. No way. No way. And just disappointing. I don't know. You did all the right things, and it just ain't. I doubt you want to put any lubrication in this thing. There's nothing to take apart on this thing. I'm sure if I did take it apart, they would screw the warranty, I'm sure it comes apart under this sticker here on the back end, but I'm not going to take it apart. I should just send it in for warranty. But you email them, they give you an authorization, and you never end up sending it. It's like some triggers I had. I got an authorization months ago, and I still haven't sent them out. I don't know. Guess I should, because the other day I had one that was really screwing up on me. I had a drop-in trigger on an AR that was doubling and tripling on me. And everybody at the range, their heads turning, I'm like, oh, who is that? Yeah, who the heck was that? Oh, God. But, yeah, there's something mismachined in this trigger. It's terrible. It's unsafe. I'm going to send it back, get another one, or just dump it, get a different brand. It was just something I was messing around. I'm not going to give you the brand right now. I'll do a video on it. But, yeah, this thing, terrible. Terrible, terrible. Very disappointed. And we've been using it a long time. Best thing, and I guess it really doesn't matter brand, just there's certain things on my bench that I use every day, all day, on everything, and you cannot do without. And there's another gunsmith on YouTube over at Anvil Channel that will tell you the same thing. And I have followed his plan to perfection in this. It's so simple, guys, but yet he touts it. And I knew it, and I never really did it, and I have been for the last 3-4 years. But the best tool you can have on your bench that you will use all the time is this. A 2-ounce, maybe it's 3, ball peen hammer. Don't care the brand, whatever. This one is got a nice hickory handle. that I've actually put a nice coat of Russian shellac on. Oh no, I'm sorry, it wasn't shellac. This is BLO, boiled linseed oil. And you polish the face. If you use a hammer on any type of firearm, if it's not a plastic faced hammer or a rubber faced mallet or something like that that you're hitting it with, it better have its face polished like a friggin' mirror. You see that? It's polished. Look, it's picking up my reflection. It's polished like a mirror. It better be. There not be one mark in there, not one divot, not one anything. It should be a mirror. You should be able to brush your teeth, comb your hair by it. Because once it's polished like that, you can hit any firearm, any metal, and it will not leave a mark. A hammer leaves a mark when there's imperfections in the face. You hit that metal and it transfers those imperfections to the new metal, okay? Or maybe you catch the edge instead of hitting flat. That would leave something. I even kind of polish just over the edge. I soften the edge of it just a hair, and even our ball end is polished. Now this one, you can't see it. It looks like a ball, right? But there's actually almost a flat in it. It comes like this, like it comes to a flat. I can feel it. So there's a flat running this way, coming out like that. Think of it like a hollow ground screwdriver where the grind goes like that. That's how this feels. You can't see it, but by touch, I can feel it. And I don't want it there. I really have to get on this thing and grind it and shape it back to what I want because it's too pointy, and I can feel it coming to a flat, which is kind of useless to me because it'll leave a mark. It won't, there's certain things with rivets and different stuff I can't do properly with the way this is faced right now. And I've just been lazy and not doing it. If you need a bigger hammer than this, guys, or if things aren't moving and you are not using this hammer like thwack, thwack. No, this hammer is a, just a little persuasion, a finesse hammer. You are tapping. You can shape a rivet with this. Yeah, on your AKs, you need a rivet press or to start that thing. You're finessing it. You're rounding, you're moving metal, you're refacing a screw, filling back in a groove that you screwed up. That's what this is for. Even if you have to get something to move, a pin or something, it's tap. But when it comes to firearms, guys, rarely can I think of an occasion where you are just pow. And if you are, it better be done with a plastic face hammer. And even then, you don't want to ever have to hit hard when it comes to hammers. If you need to hit hard because something's not moving, get a bigger hammer, okay? More weight. And even then, you're not pow. You're just the more force of that weightier, larger head is moving it. But I don't have any other hammer on my bench except I do have a brass face and a nylon face on a small sized hammer like this, little shorter handle. But this is the only hammer on my bench, period, for building ARs, AKs, repairs, moving metal, shaping, everything. This is all you need. Now, try to go in a hardware store, a home improvement store, anything, and find one of these. Lots of luck. Lots of luck. I look, and I have not seen one in years. I'm sure you can go on Amazon, some of the tool sites, this and that. But these used to be everywhere, and now they're not. This thing is at least 40 years old, 30 years old, 35, 40. It's the most used tool on my bench. You should have one regardless. They're cheap. Buy one hit the polishing wheel. If there's a lot of damage or you found one somewhere, flea market, whatever, and you need to file that face, fine. Or you've got some deep indentations. That's how this started. And right now it doesn't have any marks, so I'm not going to polish it just yet. But it's certainly got some, not scratches, but look at that, guys. Look at that reflection. That's how highly polished that thing is, okay? I mean, incredible. And that's how it needs to be. Get one, practice polishing. Hey, if anything, it helps out your polishing and metal skills and everything. Get one and set it on your bench and watch how many times you go to this. It's not revisiting a test or a review, but it's just, I've told you guys about this before, and every time I look at it laying on my bench, I'm like, I gotta impress upon these guys how important a tool this is, okay? So get yourself one. Now, last but not least, I want to show you the targets from that last video of the M1 Grand. So I finished, you know what, I don't think I have that one. Yeah, I do. So that last one I ripped off fast. On the, let me see. Yeah, I think this is it. It's no great shakes, but I shot that one fast on the Grand. And that first one I hit right where I wanted, and there was here and here, but got that group down to right here. Wasn't bad, and I was shooting that pretty fast. Iron sights. And I broke out the AK. And you'll see the video coming on this. I did a video on my SLR 107 FR triangle stock. I love shooting that gun. The reason I bought the Krebs gun originally was it was based on an SGL. SLR 107 FR, but Krebs rifle, the KS 103. And I had since turned it into like an alpha clone sort of, with a lot of Zenitko stuff. But I like stamp guns over milled. And I particularly like that gun with the folding stock and all. And when this SLR 107 triangle stock came up, I bought it. The only thing's been done to it is a TDI Arms billet handguard and the Swiss cheese gas tube cover by Kyber Customs, and a TDI grip, which I love on this gun. What I love about it is it's so light. I have no optics on it, no nothing. The gun is just so light, so quick. With the folding stock, it's awesome. I just love it. And it shoots so well with iron sights. Well, if you watch the By 39 project, I was doing all the testing with the Krebs. We tried out the PAPs a little bit. I was just having bad luck. I would start the day with shooting kind of a test group with Golden Tiger. And I could get a 1.5 inch group or 2 inch group with that. And then I'd go to my hand loads, all these different ladders. I was doing different powders. And these groups are opening up. I mean, they're like 5 inch, 6 inch. Anything I tried, I could not get it down. All these special bullets and cast bullets. And, oh, try this and try that, and this powder and that powder. Couldn't get anything. Well, other people have told me these bullets, they're not the best. They're not this accurate. But I bought a bunch of these Nosler Varmageddon, and they're 310 caliber. So they're not 308. They're 310. They're made for 7.62 by 39. Nosler makes them for that. They make what looks like the same bullet. They all have black tips, polymer tips on them. One's the Varmageddon, and the other is ballistic tip, they call it. But they look identical. They're 125 grain. I believe, maybe 123, but for some reason 125 rings a bell. I'm going to do a video on it, so you'll see. But some people say, oh, they're not that accurate. And I had loaded some of them with some other powder and just didn't have that much good luck out of the other rifles. But I had, oh, I don't know, 20 rounds of it left or so. And I loaded up a mag, and I thought, I'm going to see what this thing can do. Iron sights. Now, keep in mind, all my other testing was done at 100 yards with a 1x6 variable scope on 6 on a known accurate rifle, and I just could not get groups. Now, this was shot with a certain powder, and I'll bring it to you in a video. I'm not going to tell you what it was. And I think I shot, I think this was an 8-round or 10-round group. I think 10, because I had them in an ammo box, and I loaded 10 and 10. I shot these with iron sights at 100, aiming at the dot, which is I hit here, and they all hit just a hair low. But 10 rounds, guys, and shooting fast. I was kind of just shooting. Look at that. 10 rounds out of that SLR 107 FR with reloads that are part of the Buy 39 project with a Nosler bullet and a powder we'll not mention right now. But holy schmoly. And they weren't super fast either. So we are, of course, loading up more. And we're going to confirm this and test some more, but I think I got it. That with iron sights? Are you kidding me? What do you think I can do with even a 3-power or a 6-power? That's crazy, 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 crazy. You have no idea how happy I was. When I walked down there and saw that, I could kind of see it as I was shooting it because I saw the big thing open up there. And I'm like, could it? Maybe? I told my buddy, I said, stop. We got to run down and look at these. I went, oh, man, I was so happy. You have no idea. So, yeah, we are there. And then our reloads on, what was I shooting? Oh, here's one with the red dot. Here's one with the 5-power magnifier. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this might have been 5. That might have been something else. I don't know. Maybe 5 went through here, or maybe it missed off here. But either way, there's about 1.25 inch group. Well, maybe 1 inch. Yeah, 1 inch. So 1 MOA with the magnifier. With our reloads dialed in, and that was 55 grain ammo. That wasn't even our 68 or 75 grain. So yeah, we're dialing some stuff in here. We're real close to just setting our loads and going. But that 7.62 by 39 really enthralled me. So happy about that. I'm going to load a bunch up. I'm going to do another ladder with this powder, with these primers. And we are going to have some fun. And then I got a brass round that works. The only problem is, I don't know if there is a problem really. I'd like to shoot it in the Galil Ace, but it just hammers that brass so bad. And I don't know. We'll see. But in the AKs, it should be fine. And it puts the brass in one little pile, too. It's so nice. It was ejecting out of that gun about 2 o'clock. Right about 2 o'clock, and let's see, 21 feet maybe, somewhere in there. So not bad for an AK. Yeah, iron sights, guys. Iron sights. I think I'm going to put that 1x6 on that gun, see what I can do. Maybe it's just that gun and that ammo. Who knows? But I'm going to test that round across a few different guns. Maybe, a different, slightly different powder load or something. But man, oh man, so nice. I got to read these comments here. Oh, smoke in the eye. Let's see where I left. Yeah, too much at stake for lousy tools. You ain't kidding. If you use a manual wrench and old style before, hold on. Let's see. See you, Alan. I've had same model for years and it's been pretty good. That fat wrench, yeah, I don't know what the hell happened. I've never heard anything bad about it. And they're not necessarily that cheap. Get you Snap-on. Everything I own is Snap-on, dude. I was a tech for years now. I got a giant Snap-on box filled in the garage, but when it comes to an inch-pound torque wrench like that, the driver was nice, and I never heard anything bad about it. But those fix-it sticks are really nice. CMC makes a really nice drop-in trigger he's talking about. You can't go wrong with Snap-on. No, you can't. How much you getting for a melt job on a hammer these days? I don't know if I could even talk about that here, so I gotta be careful. For you, nothing. Freebie. 2 pound Snap-on dead blow hammer in my range bag always. Yep. Good tools are not always expensive tools. No, they're not. I've got some stuff I've found over the years that has just worked and held up. And there's many other brands of good tools out there that some people wouldn't even know the name if I told them. Klein comes to mind. Different, usually for different type of work, but there's a lot of good stuff out there that people don't know about. They stopped making those little hammers when they stopped hand making picture frames. But yeah, right. When they went to Staples. But no, those were different. Those little, they still make brass tack hammers. What's the other hammer I was looking for the other day? A certain type I couldn't find either. Just there's people that don't do the intricate work or the craftsmanship they used to. So to go find one at a home improvement store, sometimes an old out of the way hardware store that still has stuff from back in the day, you'll find interesting stuff at. I love exploring ancient hardware stores. Love it. That would be one of the greatest jobs in the world, to own a hardware store. I would love it. Did you say you were shooting 50-ish grain 7.62 by 39 and gonna try? No. On this other target, or what I had shot down here was my AR, that Thunder Ranch. I shot a group here and I shot a group up here. And those weren't ish, those were 55 grain bullets, not even what I usually shoot out of it, which are 68 or 75 grain. I shoot 68 grain, 75 grain usually on the reloads for that rifle, because I'll be shooting green tip out of that rifle, which is the 60, whatever it is. What is this? It's getting late, guys. 68 grain, right? Or 62 grain, whatever it is. Whatever it is, I duplicate that, and I shoot 75s. I love shooting 75 grain 223 bullets. They're just awesome. Love them. That's what I said. Oh, melt you off on your ball peen hammer, you mean? Yeah, no problem. But I can get your AK hammers like that too. No problem. No, just that center one was the AK one. And then before we left, I just threw those two groups out of that AR downrange. I had forgotten I brought it, and I just wanted to see if the gun was still there on sighted in, and boom, boom, boom. So yeah, that was super exciting on that 7.62 by 39. Anyhow, that's one more thing, and then because I'll have more on this next week for you. So I was out of powder to load 5.56 223. I had powder for 308, but I had enough of that loaded. I was gonna go load some 8mm Mauser, but I didn't have the right powder for that. And I loaded up all my 9, and I was bored. I wanted to load something. So I think I've told you guys I had a Posness Warren press that was my dad's for shotgun shells that we loaded all our trap shells on. I had set it up, mounted it to the bench several years ago, probably 3-4 years ago. He used to load paper shells. That's what we always shot. And they still make paper shells. Don't think this is because it's my older father and that's what he shot back in the day. No, we shoot paper shells today if we can get them. You go to the Grand American, they sell them there, federal paper hulls. People shoot them. A lot of guys believe wholeheartedly that they recoil less, and they do. And we're talking the average guy can't feel it, but when you shoot as much trap as we do, yeah, they're less, and we feel they pattern better, everything. Anyhow, we had went through all the paper hulls we had. My dad doesn't shoot much, so we haven't replenished. But I saved all my plastic stuff over the years, and I was switching the press over to load plastic shells, which means a different pre-crimp and crimp die, essentially. And a different adjustment for length, overall length. And when I had set it up, I didn't want to screw it up much. I didn't know all that much about it. And I didn't want to change too much. I changed the dies over. I just couldn't get it to load these things right. It would, and I'll show you an example here. I think this is one of them. I'm trying to find the worst one. So on the final crimp, it would crimp the shotgun shell down, but the top from like my fingernails up would mushroom out. And then when the shell's done and you're going to drive it out of the loader down the chute into the pan, it would be so hard to push it down because of that lip. And then when it pushed through, it was all screwed up, right? Or it would leave the hole open or too closed, or something would happen. It was just out of adjustment. So I'm going to mess with this. So I start messing with it. And what I really didn't realize before was just how sensitive the adjustments are compared to metallic cartridge reloading. So I slowed down a little bit. I made some adjustments. I knew what was wrong, how to fix this. So I did that. And each one I got, this was the first one, and it was folding it out of the die, essentially. So it was pushing it out. So I had to get it where it was folding it deeper inside the die. So I went real deep, and that screwed up. I went a little higher. I had to go back. I finally got them where they were perfection. Here's one that's really screwed up and wasn't, if you can see that upper edge, see there where it's mushrooming out, that's a big deal. It won't even go into gun. They might, but they're so stiff, they won't eject. You can see it's not quite right. You can see this one, all kinds of weird things. And these are 8 pedal crimps. There's 6 and 8. These are Remingtons. And then you can see as I get closer and more perfect, This one's just about perfect, but a little too low. And the final one was perfect. So I got it all adjusted. It's running great. Then I'm going to double check. I got, we're ounce and an eighth of shot. And we always shot red dot. I don't have any red dot right now, so I'm going to change out dyes for a load that's similar. And then we got tons of light loads for our 3-gun shotguns, our Vepr, our VR80. And guys, you have no idea how popular that VR80 is. My videos on the VR80 are insane. The views on them. And people just want to know about that gun. People are snapping them up like crazy. It's a great gun. If you're going to buy a tactical shotgun, pick one of those up. They're $5.99 when you find a deal on them. And that's quite often. You should be able to go buy one for $5.99 any day of the week. Great shotgun. They're holding up great. They're made in Turkey. They're an AR-15 pattern. Great gun. And so I just needed light loads. Now I can adjust these to the perfect feet per second to run that gun at perfection with the lightest recoil. And we're going to do that and bring these guys some info on how to reload for that, for 3-gun matches and all of that. So if you guys are interested in that, it's going to transfer over to our Vepr too. We're going to develop a load for the Vepr. And we are also going to start casting slugs and reloading 00 buck and slugs. So that's going to be really interesting. I've already got the loader set up for it. Some of the casting stuff, just got to get the mold, and it will be good to go. It's going to be really cool, a lot of fun. But this is going to allow us to just do some videos and range days where we can blow through 1,000 rounds like nothing and really test and show everybody what these guns can do. So I was so happy to get it running. It's running awesome. It needed a good cleaning. We polished the primer feeder trays and the bushings and tightened things up. And tonight I'm going to finish the polishing the dies out. And this thing's going to be running like goose doo-doo through a tin horn, so to speak. So look forward to that. I don't know if that excites you or not, but it's something else that's now coming to fruition just because I had a little time to mess with it. I haven't had time. Time has been very crucial lately. And it's going to be fun to get that done. So I wanted to bring you guys those little updates, the one product update, and get that out to you. You'll see a video come out tomorrow. The other video we shot last week, along with the grand video, you'll see this SLR 107 FR video with the Krebs gun in it and the triangle folder. I love those guns. Just love them. They're some of my favorite AKs. It's between that. I never finished my top 5, but I'll give you guys something. My 1 and 2 in no order are the Veprs and those SLR 107 FRs. Those are my favorite 2 of all the ones we have. Yeah. So maybe you can consider them that kind of a pseudo 1 and 2 video. But yeah, that's what you'll see tomorrow. And I'm going to try to get to the range tomorrow too and get some more filming done. And then we're going fishing for the day and bring you some of that. So, hey guys, thanks for coming tonight. Thanks for hanging out. Let me just check here. Reminds me of the old cardboard BB holders. Yeah, essentially. Hey, it's Miles. How's it going? What's going on, Miles? Good to see you here, man. My little nephew there. He's a good dude, and he's into a lot of this. And we're getting him all set up. He's going to be able to go get his first firearms here pretty soon and enjoy himself. I take him to the range, and he's a good shot. He's safe. He's good at what he does. He's interested, and he listens. which is more than most people do to me. Nobody listens to me except you idiots. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Look, Tommy, it's all you. Tommy. I'm the one friend. Oh my God. No. Um, no, I appreciate all you guys, but the chat is way down because it's late. We've been doing this. It amazes me. It really does. And I'm humbled by it that you guys will sit here and listen to me babble for 3 hours. It's only probably so you can go to work tomorrow and go, you should see what this fucking asshole said last night. No, I'm kidding. Sorry. Oh, bad language. Sorry. I can't help myself. It's a problem I have. I'm working on it. No, it's funny. Yeah, that's funny because I have 0 friends. That's okay. Do you need a little help? You want to talk to somebody about it? Come on. Lay down on the couch here. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Well, I was born at a very young age, toothless and bald. Just kidding. All right, guys. Thanks for coming. I hope you enjoyed it. There's some good stuff tonight. I was glad to see a few new viewers in here. We had more people than usual. I think we were up in the 30s there, maybe higher for a little while. It's been getting a little better. I enjoy it. For a while, it was kind of becoming tedious because I didn't feel like we were going anywhere. So make sure you're sharing, getting your friends in here, tell them about it. If you want to talk about something, a certain subject where you really want to get everybody involved or you got some questions, bring them up, man. Bring them up, and we will be happy to talk about them. Miles, you got to stop in here more often, man. We start at 8, and check in here. We have a lot of fun. You'll get to know some of these guys in here. Well, you don't want to know them. No, they're funny, and there's some guys that have been coming in here a long time, and they got good info and some really cool guns, and we talk about some good stuff. You'll learn a lot for sure, and you'll have a laugh. So, again, thanks for everything. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for the super chats, Tommy. That was awesome. Remember, guys, this channel is mostly demonetized. They demonetize 95% of my videos. If this channel was on any other subject, I'd be probably making a pretty good living at this. And our subscriber count would be over 10,000 already, which we're pretty close. We're getting there. But you'd make a pretty good buck on it. But since we're a firearm channel and all the banning that goes on and shadow banning and all the other stuff, we get nothing. Really, I mean nothing. So we rely on your super chat, stuff like that. One of these days I'll get off my ass and do a Patreon or something like that where you guys can contribute when and if you feel it deserves it. But anything you guys do, we certainly appreciate it. Love it. And Miles, that just means success is even more impressive. Yeah, it is. It really is. On a gun channel, it's hard today, man. It's hard. They kill you. They really do. They don't want it. So the algorithm works hard against you. That's for sure. Maybe I should become I was thinking about starting a Smash Burger channel. What do you think, guys? Smash Burger? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. That, or maybe we test wrinkle creams for ball sacks. What do you think? I don't know. I hear that's a hot thing these days. I don't know. Anyhow, I probably make more money at it. Anyhow, guys, thanks. We appreciate everything you do, and we appreciate your support. All that good Second Amendment stuff. Hey, that video on the Quran, make sure you share that on places where friends and family that may not be so into guns as you are will see it. Share it on your Facebook, stuff like that. There's some common sense, good arguments on why this assault weapon ban shouldn't happen. We're starting to see some turning on that. I don't know that Pelosi's going to have all the votes. It may not pass the House. I thought for sure it was going to fly through. And I was really feeling like the Senate might just vote it through with some Republicans voting for it. Now, maybe not so much. So that's a good thing, but we can't let off. That's coming. They're doing it right now before this August break. So you got a few days and we'll see what happens. They know they're not going to get it after November because they're going to lose their ass in November. But now's the time for them to just ram it through, and it's as close as we've ever seen. And they're not just taking away assault weapons. You will be left with nothing. All semi-automatics will be banned. Anything over 10 rounds will be banned. That means a Glock is now banned. You can't own it. An 80-year-old M1 Garand, gone. 1022 Ruger, 22 target rifle that you buy for your kids for gone. Everything, guys. They want everything. They've made no bones about it. They want zero guns. That's what they want. They're not hiding behind it anymore. They're telling you, we want it gone. Confiscation. We don't think it's safe. We don't think the people should have it. And they'll tell you that that's what American citizens want. Well, I'm here to tell you, after COVID, so many guns were sold. So many first-time people buying guns because they felt unsafe. These peaceful protests were happening everywhere, and they were afraid. People were getting beat up for clothes they wore and different for any reason. It didn't matter. It was mob mentality. The mob comes down the street. They look at you. You don't look like them. They don't like you. They beat the hell out of you with the intent to kill you. You know how many people died? People were legit scared, and they bought a gun for the first time. And they took it to the range, and they practiced a little. They shot it. They put it in a nightstand. Maybe they got their concealed carry and it came with them every day, but all of a sudden they're at the range going, hey, this is kind of fun, or it empowered them. They felt safer. They, the mom, the dad, the single mom or whoever, they just felt a little more confident, and they felt good that they could protect their family. Because think about it. Where I live, where my other family members here live, pretty dark by that front door. Somebody walks up, nobody sees them walk up. They kick that front door, and they are standing in your living room in 2.3 seconds. And you hear it. By the time you're groggy, you get out of bed, you dial 911. Before they say 911, how can I help you? It's over. Either maybe you got lucky and they ran off because you had a big dog and it scared them. Maybe they shot the dog. They came in, and now their intent is to steal what you've worked hard for. Maybe do some pretty bad things to your wife or your daughter, or maybe just kill all of you and take your stuff, or whatever. But you can't rely on police. They're cutting back. Chicago lost it was either 45 or 55% of its police force either left, retired, or went to other cities, other counties, whatever. Half of their police force they lost. And they are 60%, 60,000 recruits off for the year to replace them. Because who wants that job right now? Nobody. So it ain't getting any better, and people are realizing that. And they're also realizing that they're the only protection they have. You don't want to see your family member, your wife, your father, your brother, your mother, your sister, something bad happen. So you're going to get the ability to protect them and protect yourself, do it safely, do it smart, and get the training and practice and the skills needed to do it right, and the legal knowledge. You have to have the legal knowledge. It's most important, because you will go from good guy to, what do you mean I'm under arrest, in about half a second flat. And all it takes is an overzealous prosecutor to say, so what, they were going to rape his sister? Big deal. He didn't need to shoot him. He could have talked him out of it. Guys, believe it or not, read the newspaper. It happens in these more liberal, left-leaning East Coast cities and West Coast. It's terrible. You can't even believe what you're reading. Like, there's no common sense anymore. It doesn't make sense. So wait, he broke in my house. He had a weapon in the middle of the night at 2 a.m., and he had my mother by the throat, and I shouldn't have shot him? and the police were 20 minutes away, but they're going to bring this guy up on charges. Thank God it doesn't happen out in most counties, but it does. And that's what's scary, man. It's unbelievable. Read the statistics, the real statistics. Look them up. Do the research yourself. Don't rely on what you're hearing on any news source. I don't care if it's CNN. I don't care if it's Fox. I don't care if it's MSN. Do it yourself. So you know what you're getting is correct, because they all lie. They all skew it to their advantage. And you're not getting the real stuff. Get some independent news going for yourselves, and you'll see. Let's see what's going on. I check in sometimes, but I'm usually just in the background. No, I get it. That just means success. Yeah. Would that ban affect guns you already own? Supposedly, they will grandfather them. However, if you were to sell them or transfer them in any way, they would put a special thing into place where it had to go through an FFL. So now they're on paper, which is the plan. They want to know who's got what. And with the ultimate thing being confiscation. And they're saying it now. They're not hiding it. It's not, oh, we're not going to take your guns. It's no, that's where we want to end up. Jerry Nadler in a congressional meeting just, I think it was Friday, he came out and said, yeah, we want your weapons. That he goes, they're in common use. That's why we want them. Well, the Second Amendment under Heller and the new decision that just came down specifically stated weapons in common use. That's what's protected. AR-15 is in common use. There's no, they can no longer say that it's not protected. It's absolutely protected. But he said absolutely 100% that's what they want. They want not just, rules change this. They want them gone, period. And they'll do just like they're following the Canadian model, because they're following it exactly step by step. And Canada went from we're banning assault rifles to we're banning pistols. And now their next step is even taking hunting rifles in Canada, where in some provinces you need rifles to survive, to protect yourself against things that want to rip you apart with big teeth and claws, and they want to take them. They just want them gone. They're following that same model, the Trudeau model up there. You should read what a lot of these guys have in common. Trudeau and a few of these other, they all went to this I don't know if you call it seminar, training, whatever, put on by Soros and his crew back when they were in college. They all attended it. A lot of our senators, governors, people attended it. It's the left with the billionaires left indoctrinating and promising them jobs and lots of money, political control if they just subscribe to this. And it's the same story, country after country after country. They've bragged in several videos that you can watch them. They're essentially these conventions where they get together and Soros and these other leaders speak, and they come right out and say that they already have control of, or they have at least 4 members of British Parliament, 2 on the Australian, and almost all of the Canadian chairmen and whatnot on the it's like, as I'm not thinking right, on their Parliament or House of whatever. They have them all. They're all controlled by them. Comes right out and says it. You can look it up, the video on YouTube, and watch him deliver his speech and tell you that. It's not bullshit. It's not a news agency saying it. It's all there. It's crazy. Oh, here we go. All right. Well, it's time to shut it down anyways. Yeah, I can't imagine living there either. To me, I can't imagine going to bed at night or even being able to sleep without knowing I have right next to me the ability to protect my wife and children. I don't know what that feeling would be like other than absolute fear. Miles, you know where I live, and it seems pretty safe, right? But it's also out where when you scream, no one hears you, right? And that is just as scarier than living in the city. I don't know. I couldn't imagine a world like that. I can't imagine. Yeah, wonderful, right? I need a moderator. I should make you a mod, Miles. So you can zap these bastards. I will next week. Let me know you're in here, okay? And I'll do it. I got your other thing working, okay? I'm sorry. I've just been busy and weddings and all this other crap. So, all right, guys. There's only 7 of you left, and one of you is family. So it's down to nothing here. I'm just babbling. But yeah, we'll get it taken care of. It was a good day. Thanks, everybody. Lots of cool stuff coming. Maybe Miles will do a video with me one of these days. Probably going tomorrow, Miles. You want to make a trip tomorrow? Let me know. Text me. Grandma and Papa are here too. So good times. Text me if you want to go tomorrow. Be happy to take you. That's it, guys. Thanks again. And as always, Rockford Ordnance out. Love y'all. Good night.